Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Mute here. Today, we are going to make a new build for someone specific. This is for... Oh, I've got my hand ready. Let's see. Get the light out. It is Nikola. Can't make out their last part there, buddy. Sorry about that. Someone specifically asked me for a build. We were talking on the chat below my videos, and they specifically asked for a Lich build using a wizard. And I, for whatever reason, I suggested a Scroll Savant, which I know why, but I also suggested an Eldritch Knight, which I'm thinking was serviceable. It's just not the one I would actually do. So we're going to switch it up a little bit here, buddy. Sorry about that. We're going to change it to doing an Arcane Trickster. So let me go into my spiel. Do you want to be able to use every scroll in the game at your max setting? Do you hate when you don't have enough skill points to put wherever the hell you want? Do you want to be the best possible wizard the game has to offer? Perhaps you hate when you have buffs that don't last for more than 2 minutes or 4 minutes at a time. I have a solution for you. It is literally using a Scroll Savant 10, an Arcane Trickster 10, and a Lich Mythic Path 10. To do this properly, though, we actually have to unlock the Lich Mythic Path before we unlock our Arcane Trickster. And we have to do it well before it, because we have to be able to get Accomplished Sneak Attacker to do it. So this will give you some sneak attack love for this build. So why are we on this screen instead of our actual typical make up your character screen? And here's why. Normally I advocate having these two things on. So only active companions receive XP, which means you and anyone that's currently on your team gets XP. So all those bastards that are Johnny come lately, they don't get jack and shit. They don't power level with you, if you will. And as such, when you leave them behind at the base, they're not getting levels. You are. And you get to share the XP. The only way this one works correctly, or for your benefit, I should say, is if you have a team of less than 6. If it's a team of 6, you might as well leave this damn thing off, because that way everyone's getting the same XP anyway, and everyone back at your base is getting XP just for being part of the goddamn team. But this one here is the key. This one's the one where if you have enough skills, especially in trickery, mobility, and athletics, those are probably the big three. Not to mention, of course, your knowledges and your lores. But by and large, you're going to come across icons to interact with, where those are, mobility and athletics, and of course, disarming traps and picking locks and all that fun jazz. Especially if you're going solo, come in real handy. So having this one will really jump your XP gain over the rest of the team by leaps and bounds. But we're actually not doing that on this build. I'm actually suggesting you leave them off, and here's why. Because we really need to slow your progression down. Because you have to have, by level 8 of Scroll Savant, you have to have level 3 Lich, which means the third icon that actually have beaten the game to the point where you have chosen Lich as your mythic path. Because once you do that, at level 3, you'll be able to make yourself a sneak attacker. And that's key so that we can unlock Arcane Trickster. So we're going to create a character. You're going to be a Lich. Might as well go evil. So we're going to do a neutral evil character here, buddy. We're going straight down here to Wizard. And we're going for Scroll Savant, my favorite type of wizard. We are not going to be an elf. We're going to be human. And we are going to be... Let's see, what did I say? It's got to be... Redirection, Mugger for trickery and persuasion. The dagger, punching dagger, and darts, that's not that big of a deal. If you look at your weapon proficiency, you got daggers already. You don't have darts. You don't have punching daggers, so I suppose that's a thing that you've just added to your repertoire. But I prefer the Mugger because of the trickery as the green check mark next to your name for that skill. And then persuasion was something you didn't have either, I think. So that was a nice upgrade as well. Going on, for your 2 points that you can put anywhere, obviously intelligence. Make it a 19 as soon as possible. From there, since you want to hit things, it's easier to be a dex character with extra armor than it is to be a strength character and have to supplement that armor. So we go dex 16. Now the last 2 points you put in con, and that's a good character right there. But I actually usually go a little bit lower. I take a single stat down. I know this is a little bit of min-maxing, but there's reasons for this. Wisdom to 12, strength of 12. And you may say, you're a wizard, why do you have to have strength? Well, A, you're going to be soloing sometimes. Once we actually unlock Lich Mythic Path, I'd suggest you solo as much as possible that you feel comfortable with, or at least take a reduced team, and then turn those XP share things back on that I just showed you to shut off. That's so you could power level your character at that point, because the goal in this build is to get a combined class level of 25. That means you need to have Scroll Savant 10, Lich, and Arcane Trickster to have to total another 15, whatever that is. 10 of this, 5 of that, 7 and 8, however it works. And the reason for this is you need to be caster level 25 to do some of the tricks that we've talked about here already. So, moving on to 5, we're going to go unlock Trickery, of course. We're going to unlock Knowledge Arcana, because that's another skill check that you'll come across periodically. Perception always goes up. Same with Trickery. And then the other points, and we're going to get a metric shit ton of skill points dumped on you by the end of the build, because again, we're going all in on intelligence, plus we're human, so we get free skills every level. So, this build is not a skill monkey, per se. We're not going to be investing in things, like skill focus, or persuasive, or trickery hands, or the deft hands, whatever the hell it's called, the one that gives you like trickery and use magic device skill at the same time. Nothing like that. You can. We're going to make you a straight up blaster caster. You're going to have things like point blank shot, precise shot at level 1, as you'll see, and then we'll go from there to make sure your character is just a generic badass for staying in the back and blasting the shit out of stuff. Of course, you will be a Lich proper, which means you'll be commanding the undead, but there's going to be a trick around that here too. So, let's see, what else would we put points in? So again, mobility, nothing wrong with unlocking it. Again, you don't need skill in these ones to use them, but again, your strength is shit, so athletics could use a little bump. Mobility going from 3 to 4 is not the end-all be-all of existence, but again, you might as well do it. You may say we use magic device or persuasion, but you don't really need those right now at the earliest levels. Maybe at level 2 and on up. Again, we'll unlock everything just to have things unlocked, but you'll notice that you have all your lores and all your knowledges just right here for the picking. Feel free to pick something in there. Stealth is one of the few ones that you honestly don't need. Having said that, I'll still unlock it. It's a dex-based build, so again, another point in it is another point in it. It's not special in any real way. Your invisibility spells will add another 20 to this, because that's how invisibility works. It actually adds to your stealth. And more to it than just that, but that's the big crux of Vanish, Invisibility, and Greater Invis. And we have ways to tap that potential like crazy. If you want a stealth build, feel free to invest in it heavily. Athletics, we're probably only going to put a point in it just to put a point in it, quite frankly. And again, you don't even really need to, so there's a point that you can kind of save. But I wouldn't mind unlocking something like your knowledges, because again, you are a big smarty brain pants, so it makes sense that you literally should be the one that's doing these 2 checks over everyone else, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, feats, point blank shot, and remember, because you're human, you get another one, which means precise shot. That means right at level 1, when they give you the crossbow, if you ask for a weapon, of course. Everyone that's already done the tutorial knows what I'm talking about. Ask for the weapon, they will give you a crossbow, poof, slapped into your hand, and everyone can use a crossbow, thank God. So they are at least smart enough to give you a ranged weapon, knowing that you're probably going to be screwed if you don't have something to do down in that basement, or the below ground area. The fact that you get point blank shot and precise shot right at level 1 makes you extremely viable. And a dexterity of 16 is extremely helpful as well, because you got a +3 now to your hit, +4 if they're within point blank shot range. And you don't have that -4 penalty, so when your team, because you're a big old squishy bastard, is up front and dealing with shit, then at the very least you have the potential to contribute to the fight. And that's, of course, point blank shot and precise shot also works with your infinite use ray spell cantrips. Now, we need to talk about Specialist School. Because you are a Scroll Savant, they make you pick a Specialist School, and as a result, they also make you take 2 Opposition Schools. So now, what does this mean? For those of you that have never played this type of wizard where you specifically are picking a favorite school, if you will, all it means is that for every level 1 through 9, because you have 9 levels of spells, 1 through 9 you have the ability to cast spells. For each level, you have to pick spell slots. What's going to be the spell slots you use today. You're going to get Mage Armor, Shield, some Magic Missile, Ray of Enfeeblement, something like that. And that's fine. They give you, for each level, 1 through 9, with your Specialist School, a free spell slot, but only for spells from that school. Well, let me steer you away, first off, from one that's probably not the most useful, Divination. They have at least done us a solid. I will give the devs credit. They've finally done us a solid and gave enough divination spells that there's at least one available at every goddamn level. If not, There's only maybe like one level that doesn't have anything. And if you get a meta magic, you can meta magic a spell up and bam, slap it in there, which we will do. So that's a possibility. But again, this is a terrible idea. There's not that many divination spells, and to just have an extra spell is power at each level free for something that you're specializing in. And divination only has like I think one spell in the entire goddamn list. That is a spell where you would want spell focus and greater spell focus, which we don't have yet, but we will get. And that would literally be a spell that you can attack with. So that's a terrible idea. So just shy away from that. It's not to say that divination doesn't have its perks. Notice that each school that we pick will have a bonus at level 1 and a bonus at probably level 8. Maybe even something all the way down here at 20. And again, this is a pretty solid one. And again, the fact that you roll a nat 20 every fucking time at level 20, but you'd have to be a purist build. Remember, we are not a purist. We're going 10 levels in, all the way up to here. So we're not getting whatever the hell this shit is. We're not getting these things down here either. So again, know that that's a thing. But as far as other stuff is concerned, let's actually go through the list and kind of get a feel for some stuff. Abjuration, we're going to get not only spells that protect us, which sounds like a solid thing that you'd want free ones of. You get a little bit of a bonus. You get resist energy to a specific type. You can choose that every day when you pick your spells. It levels up as you level up, so it goes from 5 to 10 to 20, as well as 5 to 10 to immunity. There we go. Then we have this protective ward down here, energy absorption down here, which literally allows us to absorb a specific amount of damage per day, kind of like protection from energy spell. Notice that also, it's not showing you down here, but at the higher level, we get a protective ward. Standard action, you can create a 10-foot radius field of protective magic centered on you. Gives a deflection bonus. So again, abjuration, gives yourself extra armor. So again, solid choice. Just again, there's not a whole lot of abjuration spells that you attack with, and free spells to me usually your smack of stuff that I'd want to attack with. Conjuration is interesting, if not confusing. The acid dart's nice, a free race spell cantrip. It feels like a cantrip. It just does more damage than your acid splash, but it's basically the same thing. It's a limited number of uses a day, but it scales with damage based on your wizard level, which is something. And again, that should be your sword saint levels. So again, with us going a 10-10 split, this gets truncated because of that. The Summoner's Charm is usually the reason you want this, as well as the dimensional steps. So let's break those down. Summoner's Charm allows you to literally, when you summon a pet, you're using your summoning spells. So you got your summon monster 1 through 9, for example. These spells are summoning spells, and as such, the duration is only 1 round per caster level for each of those, which kind of straight up sucks. Well, we can increase them to 1.5 times the number of rounds. Again, minimum being 1, so again, it would round down. Not round down. It would give you an extra 1 right off the bat. So at level 1, a pet that would normally last you for 1 round, and that's it, would last you for 2, because again, minimum of 1. So, yay, you just doubled the duration for that one time only. Once you get to level 2, they will last for normally 2 rounds for everyone else, 3 rounds for you. Then level 4, finally, it would unlock the ability to be, instead of 4 rounds for you, for everyone else, it'd be 6 rounds for you. You get the idea. By level 20, it'd be a 30-round pet versus a 20-round pet for everybody else. And again, that's interesting because those pets really are smoke folk that die real quick. It's less impactful at the end, more impactful at the beginning when you really need those bastards. So again, interesting, but it doesn't stack with the extend spell, feat, the meta magic, or meta magic rods. So again, there's no real way to make that 1.5 go up to 3 times, which would be money. That would be the way to go. So useful, free, sure. And again, the acid cantrip, and again, my favorite part of this one, this attack ignores spell resistance like acid splash should, in my opinion, but acid dart does. So again, when you got those demon bastards that have spell resistance and your infinite use cantrips aren't working, this is of value. Dimensional step, this is free teleportation, but for you and you alone, and uses total number of times a day equal to your wizard level. So again, pretty badass. 10, 20, it depends on you. For us, it'd be 10 times a day. And that's literally the ability to use move action, move 30 feet. And you may say, well, can't you move 30 feet normally? Well, it depends. Are you a halfling? You only move 20 feet. Dwarf, 20 feet. How about gnome? That's 20 feet. So again, you get the idea. Some people are slower. And if you're wearing gear that weighs you down, we're not talking armor per se, but if you have enough stuff on your back to literally slow your movement, I still now have my full 30 movement. Boop, teleport. Having said that, the other thing that this gives you that they're not saying in the tooltip is this allows you to teleport and therefore avoid attacks of opportunity from moving from point A to point B. So if they bum rush you in a fucking corner and you're like, nope, you just GTFO and teleport the fuck out of there every time. So again, that's of value. You can see why Conjuration School would be an appealing choice. And for those of you that are ever doing a sub build, someone that's going to go dip into another class and therefore you won't finish as a level 20 caster for whatever reason. Eldritch Knight being a fine example. 10 of Scroll Savant, 10 of Eldritch Knight would be a level 19 caster. That's subpar, and that also impacts your spell penetration ability for when you're overcoming things like spell resistance. Conjuration is one of those schools that's typically involves spells that does not have spell resistance. Not always, but routinely you will find those spells, you will find them here. And that's of value, especially for a game where we know we're fucking with demons. And you may think that I'm selling this one pretty heavy because this is the one I want. Actually, it's not. Enchantment, again, terrible idea, but up to you. Bonus to your persuasion checks, you gotta love that, and it scales as you level. Eventually, +6 if you go a purist build, which we will not be doing. But also a little saving throw bonus against enchantment spells. So we're good at enchanting people and really good at avoiding being enchanted. And then we have the Dazing Touch ability, which is limited melee attack. You're not going to use it as a wizard. Let's just say it. But it could be of value if you got trapped in a corner and your only real option was shooting at them and getting therefore stabbed in the face, or using this touch attack and hopefully using it to daze them enough to get the fuck out of dodge. So, of value. Then you'll unlock things like Aura of Despair. Again, a solid toggle that you can turn on yourself. Notice how when you have these toggles, whatever class we're talking about, that has these types of effects, they're routinely a number of rounds a day equal to or half your wizard level or your wizard level, or whatever it is. And then it says, like the second to last sentence there, these rounds do not need to be consecutive. That means you can turn the toggle on at the start of a combat round. When the combat round ends, you can shut the goddamn thing off to save it. So you don't have to use it every round if you don't choose to. So you'll soften them up for the initial spike of damage, or leave it off until you get into the thick things and then turn it on. Shit like that is what they're basically implying here. Well, again, a useful effect. Notice how it's a mind-affecting effect. They even point that part out too. And the reason that's important is because if something is immune to mind-affecting spells, it would be immune to this as well. This is a solid screw you to the bad guy. You can imagine how important this would be. -2 to their ability checks. That's, like if they're trying to do a strength check to, say, break out of a web spell or like an icy prison that you cast on them. So it's a solid way to basically screw them over. They're -2 to their attacks and their damage. Now, this is, of course, weapon damage, I'm assuming. Saving throws and skill checks. That's a lot of penalties there. So, again, this is an amazing debuff. But, again, we're not going this route. And again, the reason for this, for those of you that are wondering why not, because it sounds pretty badass with that little buff alone, it's because of the fact that I can get this with a spell that does the same thing for longer periods of time, and I can just slot 2 or 3 of those a day. Whenever I really get into those thick fights, I can just use that. But also, very numerous amounts of bad guys are going to be immune to mind effects, and enchantment therefore sucks. And also, enchantment sucks in that this is, much like illusion, falls under that category of the true save or suck spells. These are the spells that literally, if they make their will check, nothing happens. And it's not to say that there's not a place for an enchantment build in the game, or an illusion build for that matter. You just have to know that going into it and pump that DC check as high as possible. Why? So that the only way they will make that save is if they roll a nat 20. If that's always the case, the 5% chance of failure simply because they roll a 20, hey man, that shit sucks, and I've been there before. But you know what? I'll take that if it's only happening 5% realistically of the time. The downside of that is you will get a couple of these to go back to back. Piss you off. Like the motherfucker just will not roll anything less than a 20. It's like, really, dude? So that sucks. But it's one of those things that you just have to, grin and bear it and work your way through it. But we're not going to go enchantment. Evocation is the one that most people would probably swear by, and I'm a fan of this one as well. I'm not going to pick it, just to spoiler it, but it's still a solid choice, solid for a variety of reasons. So first, let's look at what we get here. Notice we get intense spells right at level 1. That means any of our evocation spells that do damage, most of them do, not all, we get to add half our wizard level to the damage, minimum of 1. So again, at level 1, you're doing an extra point of damage. Woo! Awesome. Well, then by level 20, you're doing an extra 10 points of damage. You can see the appeal here. And again, that's on top of your already significant fireball or lightning bolt spell. You can see the appeal. Notice at 20th level, whenever you cast an evocation spell, you can roll twice to penetrate a creature's spell resistance and take the better result. Basically, the equivalent of advantage on all your spell pen checks. It's not bad because we got a lot of demons. This would be a really nice way to insist that shit happens. Again, we got ways around that. Just use spells that don't have spell resistance. If that's another way to solve that problem. But still, point's still the same. It's a solid way to make sure that you have a really good chance of penetrating that spell pen or spell resistance. Excuse me. Force missile. Level 1, they also give you a equivalent of a magic missile, just slightly better, like upgrades over time. You only send one missile out at a time. It multiple uses a day. But it does 1d4 force damage, just like magic missile does. Plus, it scales off of your intense spell effect. So again, 1d4 plus 1 right at level 1. By level 20, it'd be 1d4 plus 10. And again, multiple times a day. And you may think, well, who really gives a shit about that one little bitty missile that you have, like 10, 12 of these goddamn things a day that you can zip out. You'd be surprised how many bad guys I have down in Kingmaker with this one ability because I ran out of spells. And I just needed the motherfucker to die. They didn't have shield spell, and this will behave just like a magic missile, and that shield spell will protect them. But that little runner, that's just like a track star. Every goddamn time, man, there's like somebody that's going to ring a bell or just do something to piss you off. And fucking take him down, and your race spells, while good, they can miss. This doesn't miss. So as long as he doesn't have shield spell on him and he's within range, you're going to hit the motherfucker. So there is that. And again, scales with damage with your intense spell ability. So that's helpful. Elemental Wall, level 8. Your ability is a spell-like ability. Kind of pisses me off that they don't actually use this in the game. Actually, I don't think they do. Wall of Fire is a traditional spell that people remember from D&D. And this is basically the equivalent. But again, you can make it fire or cold or acid or electric. It's amazing. But they don't have the spell. They have the spell-like ability, which is this one here that you would get, and it does work. Basically allows you to click it. The downside of this one is when you click it, if we're using this as our map, let's say here's you, here's the bad guy. If you click like at his toes, the way you're facing, it's perpendicular to the way you're facing him where you click. So if I'm here and I click over here for some silly ass reason, because I just misclick, instead of it being a nice straight line up and down here, it's going to go off at a goddamn tangent like that and maybe even miss the guy. And you're like, son of a bitch. So it's kind of fiddly. You get good at it. Don't kid yourself. It gets better over time, but the point's still the same. It's pretty weird. But again, evocation is usually a staple, and a solid staple for a reason. Skipping illusion, because it is the one I'm going to take, and I'm going to talk about it last. Necromancy is weird. You get power over undead. We can turn undead. That's all it's good for. It upgrades based on your charisma, which makes no fucking sense because, again, you're an intelligence caster. You get a number of channels equal to your intelligence. So, at least they have enough common sense to throw that in there. Other than that, again, it's harder for them to overcome once you get to level 20. But again, you have to be a Purist build. You get also at level 1 something called Grave Touch. Allows you to shaken or frighten the target with a touch attack. Can be good for setting up things. You'd be surprised at how much of a penalty being shaken even is. So even if they are shaken, we can set it up after that and make them frightened for a round, and that's per wizard level. That's pretty useful. So again, ways for you to screw up the battlefield, so to speak, with just one guy. The downside is, again, it requires that you get into melee range, which is something I'm loath to do. Notice at level 8, we get this Life Sight ability, which literally is another toggle we can turn on, but basically gives us blind sight out to a specific range. That range increases over time, but again, only if you're a Purist build. And what this literally does for you is it literally allows you to recognize things as living or undead. Again, it gives you the information ahead of time. And if they're invisible, for example, or stealthing, they light up like a Christmas tree for you. So, of value, just weird, and you almost routinely forget that it's there. Transmutation. This one actually is better than you think. I kind of like this one. I'm a transmuter by nature, but it's one of those where it misses the mark. Let's just say it this way. So the buffs that you get here. So the first one you get at level 1 that steadily scales as you level up from 1 to 20. You get an enhancement buff. One of my biggest bugaboos about this one is that it's an enhancement buff to any one of your physical stats, strength or dex or con. It's a toggle. You basically can turn it on at a whim and just say, I want strength to be, I want to be stronger now. I want to be more dexterous. Give me some con. Your choice. It's infinite use, which is at least of benefit. The downside is it starts off at +1 and it ends at +5 by level 20. Also at level 20, you can actually activate it on 2, which is, again, pretty solid. And you may say that's weird for 2 reasons. One, it ends with an odd. And as you routinely know, I usually shoot for having like a 16, an 18, a 20, 24 for specific abilities that I give a shit about. Because even numbers are what gives you the bonus. So this allows a little bit of freedom, I suppose. If you wanted to have, say, a strength of 11, by the end of the build, you could turn this one on for strength and have suddenly a strength of 16. You could have a dex of, say, 17 or 19, let's just say it that way, because maybe you want to do 2-weapon fighting. That requires you to have a dex of 15. Improved 2-weapon fighting requires a dex of 17, and in greater 2-weapon fighting requires a dex of 19. So if you had a dex of 19 and that's all you put in it, you turn this toggle on for dex by the end of the build and you'd have a 24. You can see the appeal. The other downside of this is the fact that, as I said before, it is an enhancement. This means that things like bull strength, cats, grace, bears, endurance doesn't work with them. It's whatever is the best number. And it also means it doesn't work with any of those pieces of gear that buff your physical stats, usually like a belt of strength, a belt of dex, belt of con, stuff of that nature. So that's a bummer, because +5 is alright, especially for 2 stats, but if those stats are stats you gave a shit about, like, say, strength and dex or strength and con, because, you know, you're weak and you don't have a lot of HP, you're already a dex-based build, so you don't really want to put it in that one necessarily, because you're going to give yourself, say, the belt of dexterity +8, then that 5 for strength and that 5 for con, that is of value, because that means I don't have to get the belt of strength, dex, and con, which may not even exist in this game. It exists in Kingmaker, so I'm hoping it does. But if it doesn't, you give that precious belt to someone else and just use this for yourself, I suppose. But it seems, like I said, it seems fiddly. It's like one of those where it's just like, if it would have been like an odd number going to an even number, like 6 by the end, I'd probably like it more. I don't know. I hate that it's an enhancement. Let's just say it that way. Telekinetic Fist, on the other hand, is a fun one. Again, at level 1, they give you the ability to telekinetically strike someone in the face with a Telekinetic Fist. Just pop them in the nose. So it's basically a force attack. Or, sorry, bludgeoning attack. Sorry, thinking of the evocation one. It's a bludgeoning attack at range, but it's a melee touch attack, and therefore, a ranged touch attack, and therefore there's a check, there's a chance to crit. You can sneak attack with it. So there's a value there, which is kind of interesting. Again, scales with damage, 1d4, bludgeoning damage +1 for every 2 wizard levels. Obviously, for us, we're not going to get beyond level 10, so it's kind of lame. But, I kind of dig it. Change shape, on the other hand, the ability to get at level 8, so they don't show you, just show it here. It's one of the things that is bug report needs to be submitted for this one. A change shape allows you to literally get these spell-like abilities for free for a number of rounds a day equal to your wizard level. So at level 8, you unlock the ability to do B-Shape 2 or Elemental Body 1. Well, we have spells for that, and they last way longer than this shit. Again, at a moment's notice, I get the idea. Level 12, it gets better, it becomes B-Shape 3 or Elemental Body 2, which is my favorite one of the Elemental Bodies because it's normal human size. One of my favorites being Earth Elemental. And if they haven't changed it, hopefully it's in this one. You can cast spells in your elemental form, not in your beast animal form. So there's some fun to be with elemental body. And remember, elemental bodies give you not only physical stat differences, like fire gives you dex, so does air, water gives you con, earth elemental, my favorite, gives you strength. They also give you armor. They also they take away your armor that you're wearing, so be aware of that. But also, they give you elemental resistance, even if it's a minor amount. So there's some fun to be had there. And I could totally see, pairing my Scrolls of Savant Transmutation Wizard, with, say, a Transmuter, Blood Rager, whatever the hell they call those ones, or a Druid that just likes to wild shape and just be like, dog and bear buddies, wandering through the forest kind of shit. So that's of value. Notice that Universalist is here. Don't pick it. Actually, I think this has got to be some kind of mistake. I don't think this is should be allowed because Universalist is Universalist for everything. And as you can see, you get some really interesting stuff here. Hand of the Apprentice, the ability to throw your weapon as a ranged weapon. It telekinetically smacks him in the face and comes right back to your hand. Oh, excuse me. We get Metamagic Mastery, Extend, and Reach. Metamagic Mastery and Power. Metamagic, what do you got? Maximize, and of course down here would be Quick. some interesting meta magics, but you shouldn't be able to get this. I don't know if this is a mistake, so I'm shying away from it. But also, there's no free spell at every level, because again, you don't get that anymore. That's just something that they take away from you. And again, since we're only going 10 levels in, we're not even getting the cooler abilities, these empower, the maximize, and the quicken. So let's talk about the one that I am going for. I'm going for illusion. And you may say, what the hell is that about? You just said that just like enchantment, this is a save or suck category. This is true. But I'm willing to make that sacrifice, and I'm willing to have fun with it for a couple of reasons. One is not because of blinding ray, but this is actually helpful. It's a ray touch attack, or ranged touch attack, a spell that can shoot out of your fingers at range and technically blind a target for 1 round. You get multiple uses a day. If they make the save, they become dazzled, which is at least a penalty to perception and a penalty to their armor class, or their swing. Their swing, I believe, for like 1 round per level. So at the very least, you can dazzle someone and give you or your teammate a little bit of reprieve from that motherfucker. The fact that you can blind them is of value for at least setting up a sneak attack with another teammate, for example. But again, that's interesting. The other is this thing called invisibility field at level 8. This allows us to literally, as a swift action, we can turn on a toggle and get greater invisibility at a moment's notice. So if you really do need a GTFO, it's not teleportation like we had with our conjuration school, but at the very least you can, whoop, no, I'm not here. Oh, I was never here. And you just like wave your hands in front of them, and then just sidestep your happy ass away from them. And at the very least, even if they can still sense you, you still have a bonus to being missed, the concealment bonus, and then of course they're flat-footed, so if you try to set up sneak attack, which is part of this build, you can see the appeal. Now, I know I've wasted 30 minutes and we haven't even gotten to level 1 here yet, guys, but trust me when I say this is going to be an in-depth dive into this build, because it's very fiddly. So we're going to grab illusion. The next problem, it would be, are you going to take a pet, or are you going to take yourself an arcane bond? I know me, I like an extra spell a day. Especially at the early levels, this comes in way handier than you think. There's some other fun to be had here, and again, I kind of like the familiars that they have. Since we lowered our persuasion, or sorry, our charisma for this build proper, there is nothing wrong with getting a familiar that gives you extra persuasion bonus, because your persuasion sucks because your charisma is a 7. So getting a viper to talk in your ear and tell you how to be sweet, honey-tongued when it comes to talking with people up is an idea. And all the familiars, every last one of them gives you a +2 to perception. So again, another bonus that you would appreciate. But I do like Arcane Bond, because if I forget to pack a spell, or I use the last spell up that I needed that was fucking awesome, I can Arcane Bond and whoop, teleport that into my spell book. As long as I have the spell in my spell book somewhere, and I just haven't trained myself to use it that day, I can delete a spell or delete a used spell, which would be the better way of doing it, and then put in that new spell, and then Arcane Bond, and poof, it's in my fucking brain, and now I can cast that spell. So it's the Batman feel. You have the tool at any occasion. Having said that, there is something that they've changed. This didn't used to be this way in Kingmaker, at least I don't remember it being this way. So remember, we have not only a specialty school, we also have a 2 opposition schools. Those opposition schools, how those work, instead of getting a free spell at every level 1 through 9 in your spellbook, every time you try to slot one of those spells, it takes 2 spell slots, so it's harder to cast it. Well, one of the ways in Kingmaker, at least in the day, and they may have patched that out, and I just haven't done it for so long I don't remember it, but one of the ways around that was you can use Arcane Bond to summon in that one spell, and poof, you had that spell. It's fucking sweet, because you're just like, oh, I have that on tap. I mean, only one today, but it was nice. Well, now they've changed it. Because it takes 2 spell slots, Arcane Bond will not resummon it. Because it takes 2 spell slots, and Arcane Bond only summons back 1 spell slot. You gotta love that. So the devs actually figured that trick out. Which is fine, but I miss it. So it's kind of a shame. But Arcane Bond was just one of our problems. The next problem is this, the opposition schools. Which 2 to take, and again, I can't stress the importance of this enough. And again, we're not going to go over all of them. I'm going to just jump to the occasion here and just tell you what I'm going to grab. One's going to be enchantment, and you would say that's kind of weird since illusion and enchantment kind of got to go hand in hand. And yes, I agree. It's nothing that can be done about it, and I have to make that sacrifice. Divination is being the other one, so we do divination for one, enchantment for the other. Now, you could do any of them, but be aware. You probably want evocation because you're going to blast shit. You probably want abjuration because you need some buffs to shield yourself. Conjuration gives you some of those buffs as well. And while, yes, There are some divination spells that are pretty tits. You know, True Strike at level 1, people swear it sucks ass. I swear differently. It just depends on how you use it and when you use it. But you can already see at level 1, the spells that I'm missing out on are not ones that I really give that much of a shit about. Sleep kind of sucks, but again, you rapidly outlevel the usefulness of it. So again, it's one of those, it's nice. Again, everyone's going to have a different feel on that shit. And again, the fact that it's teammate friendly, that's the real reason you like sleep. But again, I'm okay with losing out on that. There will be other ones that I lose out on, especially for enchantment, that will piss me off. I want to say like Heroism and Greater Heroism are in our list. And both of those are enchantments. And that sucks, because, man, those were really, really nice. And I'd really like to have those on tap. I can get them. Remember, it's not that I can never cast them. It's just I'm unlikely to, because it will take 2 spell slots. But everybody's different on all that shit. So let's talk about other stuff. So what 7 spells are you going to take for free? You better take, at every level, at every new spell book level, so level 1 through 9, you better pick up at least 1 illusion spell. I don't give a shit if you don't even want it. Like, if Vanish was my only choice, you still take it. Because remember, you have a free spell slot. The only thing that can go in that spell slot is an illusion spell. Since that's my school of focus. So I'll take Color Spray. From there, level 6, 6 more spells. You know I'm going to get me some Magic Missile and some Mage Armor and some Shield. Some solid buffs for my character. I'll also take, where are you, little bastard? Reduced Person, because again I'm a dexterous-based build, so again something that makes me teeny tiny but gives me a nice bonus to dexterity as well, is of value. Yes, my damage will go down, not for my spells, but for like my crossbow, but I'm okay with that. It gives me extra armor twice, because I'm tiny, it's harder to hit me, and more dexterity, and that's a size bonus to dexterity, notice that one, and that stacks then with enhancements, and therefore I'll get another bonus to armor class, and I'll get another bonus to my swing, and I'll get another bonus to my swing. Why? Because dexterity went up, and I'm ranged attacker, or weapon finesser if I so choose, but I'm not gonna, and because I'm, again, teeny tiny, it's easier for me to hit you big fat heads. So, Reduced Person is amazing. So that's my logic on that. Magic Weapon. I like having a weapon that's magic right off the bat. It doesn't last for long, but there's ways around that. And I'm happy to take that buff, making me a nice magic crossbow for a few minutes at a time every day. And last spell, I do like auto hit spells. So we got Magic Missile, but I also like spells that have no spell resistance. So you'll see me lean heavy into the raise spells on this build. So this is an example of a raise spell or a ranged touch attack. No spell resistance, and again, Fortitude save has nothing to do with the damage. It has everything to do with are they staggered or not. So again, full damage irregardless. As long as I hit you for damage. Now, you could be immune or resistant to cold damage, so there's always that thing. But there's ways around that in this game, too. So again, know that that's a thing. And also, since we are going to go Lich, know that we're going to load up on not only Necromancy spells, we're also going to load up on cold spells. Cold spells. For another reason, as you'll see when we get into the Lich path. Now, deity, you don't have to. Remember, you are going to be a Lich, so you pretty much hate all things living, but there is a couple deities of death, my favorite being Urgathoa, the Pallet Princess, the Lady of Despair, and all kinds of other things that we don't say because she may turn us into a pile of goo. But she's pretty awesome. I want to say Rovagug is another one. He's just evil. No, aside Zun-Kathan. Midnight Lord, Prince of Pain, Dark Prince, and good names, guys. But, you know, they see the domain of death. Doesn't matter. Again, this is all for flavor. But I like Urgathoa. Urgathoa could be cool. And again, the only real restriction on you is going to be alignment. But again, we already convinced ourselves we're going to be evil of some kind, neutral evil being my favorite. So we'll do that one. And again, for those that want to understand the flavor of this, lawful evil is like Lex Luthor, you're an evil son of a bitch, but you use the law to your advantage because you know there's goody two-shoes like Superman out there that are going to do what they have to do and within the confines of the law. So long as I know how to use that law to my advantage, I can still be evil. Chaotic evil is like the demons that you're fighting in this game. You know, kicking puppies and just setting shit on fire, just general asshats. That's chaotic evil. Neutral evil is I'm out for myself. Fuck your laws and fuck hurting people in general. If it doesn't benefit me, then screw you. I don't care. So neutral evil would be how I play this Lich. From there, sadly, they have yet to figure out how to do all this stuff right, which is weird because we had a really good system in Kingmaker. I don't know why this new AI is here because this looks, I mean, she looks like she's dopey. I mean, I don't understand this. But again, I'd probably go for like a pissy, evil wind bitch look. I would love if her skin tone could go white. But doesn't look like we have that option, sadly. hairstyle with this stupid ass wizard cap. You can't even tell she has hair, so I'll just leave it the way it is. As far as her color scheme goes, she was, I want to say, she had some greens, and she had black. Probably needs to be a little bit darker green. That looks like that. Okay. All right, I'm cool with that.
We do it my way.
She's not butch, so they got to fix that too. She's female, and she's probably.
All I see is blackness.
She's evil. Again, you could totally play her up for being a, you know, like a.
Away, you rascal!
A carefree, you know, person that no one really realizes that she's an evil undead lord or lady. So carefree could be a funny pick, but again, probably the madman one. For here, I'm going to name it after you, buddy. So, Nikola. What the hell is that name? Mesic or Nesic? I think it's Nesic. My handwriting sucks. But that's what we're going to call your character.
May I see your entrails, please?
Nice. Alright, so now notice I've done 3 spells level 1. We'll go through the quick tutorial part here and then power level our character. And just kind of give you a feel for how we're going to do this. Because again, it is very fiddly. And I'll need some coffee to wake me up. I have a 4-day weekend and I haven't accomplished fuck all. That's not your guys' fault. I've been wanting to do builds, and I spent 2 days just making one build yesterday. So it took a while. It's not that it was hard, it was just I wanted to be a good build. Someone specifically asked for a Sword Saint build. And you know my love for Sword Saints. So I wanted to make sure I did them justice.
Demons, prelate.
Although I did learn something. I have yet to test it, but someone has told me that you can...
I'll get you patched up now.
Yeah, go away. You can use weapon finesse on any slashing or piercing weapon in the game.
My powers are
I don't know if that's true.
Quick about it before it's too late.
I don't remember. Piss off. Stop asking all these questions.
Prelate, please, for the sake
They
of the
say the way to do it,
stop
because
interrogating
it's supposed to be
this
only a
poor
finessable
woman.
weapon that gets it, as
She's
far as I
been
knew.
through enough already.
But they say you can do it, and all you need to do is grab slashing grace or fencing grace. Again, you need weapon finesse already unlocked to do that. If that's true, that's actually quite cool, because you can do things that I just would never have considered. You know, like a dex-based build with like a longsword could be fucking fun. I still maintain that's a weird idea. And there are some non-finessable weapons out there that have a nice crit range. That's another reason for doing it. Like you can get a falcata. Again, it's not a finessable weapon as far as I knew, because it's not considered light and it's not considered finessable. Know that there is a difference. If it's a light weapon, it's automatically finessable. If it is not a light weapon, there are exceptions to the rule. Rapier is one of those. A rapier is literally a weapon finessable weapon. And in fact, let's actually gift ourselves a couple pieces of gear just to show this to you. Search and pick. Take some mo. Actually, while we're doing that, I can also party level my character up a little bit. Boop. Alright, let's go here with weapons, and we're going to type in search. This is just to gift myself a generic one, so I'm going to get like a cold iron rapier. And then, let's see, Falcata was another one. And cold iron Falcata, just to show you an example. And of course, we'll give ourselves just a dagger, just so we can actually equip something. And a cold iron dagger. Alright. So, just an example. See how this one is a one-handed weapon, but you see down in the qualities it says finesse wielding. To me, excuse me, to me that is, if you have weapon finesse and a high dexterity, you can now equip that weapon, assuming you can, and you use your dex modifier for your attack bonus, not your strength modifier. That's what a weapon finessable weapon does. You need weapon finesse to do it, or something comparable. Notice how the cold iron Falcata here is a one-handed weapon. Qualities is cold iron. Says nothing about it being weapon finessable. Doesn't say anything like the dagger about it being light and finesse wielding. So you see there are differences. So we have light weapons, which are all finesse wielding as far as I know. We have some weapons that are one-handed. Hell, there's even a two-handed weapon out there. The Elven Curved Blade, which is fucking tits, is a two-handed weapon, but it's a finesse wielding weapon. It's weird, but it's there. It's kind of cool. Almost want to make one of those elf dancers So those what do they call them? Spell blades or blade dancers, whatever the hell they call them. Build just to use that Elven Curve blade for some serious fun. But the Cold Iron Rapier is another one of those traditional weapons that people will weapon finesse with. And again, nice crit range. Look at the Falcata. Notice that the crit range isn't as good. It's not 18 to 20, it's 19 to 20, which is still respectable, like a longsword and a dagger and a short sword is. However, unlike those 3 weapons I just mentioned, this one has a ×3 modifier on it when it does crit. So when it does crit, you roll that damage 3 separate times, not 2, like a longsword would. So this would be, again, a preferred weapon for me, but again, you would have to be a strength-based build. Again, I'd have to prove that to myself. Someone told me that. Doesn't mean they're right. But this is, again, what you'd be limited to. Now notice my attack sucks because, again, I don't have weapon finesse, and again, it's keying off of my strength as a result. So weapon finesse that shit up, and you'd actually be doing much better. But that's enough of that. Let's get into your build. So first things first, I hate that they pick your spells for you. At least they don't seem to bone you completely. Having said that, if you had like 2 illusion spells, they probably would have put Vanish up here to be complete dicks for you. Because Vanish is garbage. It's not garbage. It's bad at level 1. By the time you get to level 5, it does its full potential, and it's kind of still shit. But can it be enough to like dip into a room? Like you cast Vanish on yourself and you whoop, walk the fuck in and say, "Oh, there's the bad guys. Here, come on in, team." Set yourself up and start casting a spell. But Color Spray is solid, and Color Spray is one of those illusion spells that, while they look like there's an HD cap, there is not, because it's 5 or more HD. You can still stun people all the way up to the end of this game. You have the potential of doing that, which is still a valuable spell then. So I like those types of spells. You're going to get every spell in your spell book. I'm not going to quibble over that, so I'm not going to even scribe them. And when we pick spells, I'll just point you to some of my favorites. But know that you're going to get everything, buddy. Okay. Going on, again, we're going to take Scroll Savant to level 10, and there's a reason for that is because of this here. So the reason we're going Scroll Savant, in case it wasn't clear, is these 3 abilities here, here, and here. Scroll Savants get a nice bonus to casting, using Use Magic Device. Again, we have to have a point in it minimum. But notice we get half our Scroll Savant level to Use Magic Device checks. Remember, that's for wands and that's for scrolls. That's how Use Magic Device is used in this game. That's, as far as I know, that's the only reason they're used. If you want to activate a wand or you activate a scroll, you need to use Magic Device check. But only, this is important, so pay attention, only if it is a spell that your school, in my case, Wizards, doesn't have access to. So for a level 9 Wizard spell, I can use it right fucking now from a wand or a scroll without fail. I'm level 1. I have no training at level 9 spells, but I have the ability to do it because I am a Wizard. So again, if it's a cleric-only spell, or a druid-only spell, or something that's, again, a non-wizard spell, say it that way, I would do a Use Magic Device check. And of course, we have to unlock that spell. But we get a bonus to it, which means we can use wands and scrolls better than most people. It gets better than that. We are a Scroll Savant, after all. Notice, we can roll a 10. Remember, you roll a 1d20 on that roll. We roll a 10 automatically if that's good enough to pass the check. What does that mean? It means if I give you enough skill and Use Magic Device by the end of this build, you will never fail a Use Magic Device check. Period. Which is fucking money. That means wands, without fail, you don't have that poof poof. What just happened? Oh, you didn't pass your Use Magic Device check. You didn't activate the wand properly. Same with the scroll. You didn't use it up, but you didn't cast it. Well, that's a wasted turn, man. You know, fuck that. So we want to be able to always be able to use those things in scrolls primarily. Then, at level 5, we unlock Scroll Specialization. Watch this part. The DC check of the scroll is limited. Just like the wand, just like the potions. They have a set caster level built into them. Well, at this point, they have a set caster level built in them, and they also have a set DC check built in them. The DC check for any spell is, on a scroll for example, is limited to the minimum amount of, in this case, intelligence you would need to cast a spell. So let's say a fireball is a fine example. It's a level 3 spell. You would need to have an intelligence of 13 to cast that. What would be the DC check then? It'd be 10 is base, level 3 spell, so because it's fireball, so that's 10 plus 3 is 13. And then it would take an intelligence of 13 to cast it. That's a +1 modifier, because 12 and 13 are +1s. So it's a +1 modifier, so it'd be 10 plus 3 plus 1. So that scroll would have a DC check of a lane 14. Well, by the time I'm casting level 3 spells, I'll have an intelligence of 20. That's a +5, not a +1. So that will be replaced now. Only for scrolls. But that means my scrolls are going to have a higher DC check now. Then we get all the way to 10, and that's why we're going straight 10 first. And at 10, we can now use our caster level. That's key here, not scroll savant level. Caster level instead of the item's caster level. So again, for that scroll, the scrolls have a built-in caster level, much like potions and wands. So if it's caster level 1, and let's say it's a blessed scroll, like a wizard or a cleric scroll, I could cast it. For everyone else, it would be 1 minute per caster level buff, and it would last them for 1 minute because its caster level is set to 1. For me, at level 10, I can cast that same scroll, and it will last me for 10 minutes. Why? Because it's 1 minute per caster level, and now the scroll's caster level is set to my caster level, which would be 10 or higher, and you can see the appeal. So this is the way you want to go, and you need to go 10 first, which is why the Eldritch Knight build was a bad idea, buddy, because I need you to go 10 levels into this first, and then finish 10 levels of Eldritch Knight. That's not going to be what you want. Arcane Trickster, on the other hand, is possible, and that's why I wanted to show you. And so for here, notice that the more intelligence we get, the more skill points we have. Again, we always want trickery up, we always want perception up. And again, let's unlock use magic device, because again, you have to be trained in it to even use it. We got skill in it. Yes, our charisma straight up sucks, but we also have that beautiful scroll focus, and that's just going to go up higher, higher, higher. Eventually, it's only going to cap out at a +5, but hey, man, we'll fucking take it, right? So again, we need use magic device up. Eventually, you will rule a kingdom, so persuasion will be important, but not right now. I say get your lores unlocked. Remember, these ones all require you to actually put a point in them to even be able to use them as a skill check. Yes, there's going to be people on your team that can do this better than you. Maybe not the Arcana in the world, but lore nature and lore religion. But when you do solo, it would be nice to know that you have the ability to at least try. Okay. From here, again, we're not going to dwell on spells, but again, I'll just tell you stuff that I like. I like auto-hit spells and elemental damage, so Sonic is an elemental damage type. I do like spells that are necromancy, because we're going to be a lich, and I do like spells for necromancy that are not save or suck, save or something happens spells. Again, Ray of Sickening down here is a fine example of one that's a save or suck. If they make the save, nothing happens. Ray of Enfeeblement, on the other hand, the one I just picked, Raise spell, again, another ranged touch attack. If they make the check, they still suffer a half the penalty to their strength. So again, of value. So again, this is going to be the slow part of this right here, buddy. We'll level you up. Now, the reason, again, we're trying to limit your XP. Remember I said we shut XP share off instead of turning, sorry, turn XP share on. I'm saying it wrong. Say it the right way. Both of the toggles are off. The reason they're off, that means everyone's getting XP across the board evenly. That's what you want for the longest time. Until you unlock Lich level 3, that's the way you're going to play it. Because you need to unlock 3 as soon as possible. And the only way to do that is to limit your XP from the other stuff. Because we can't be past level 8 of your Scroll Savant and be Lich 3. If that happens, then this build doesn't work. So, level up 3, Scroll Savant, access to level 2 spells now. Again, I don't mind doing a little bit of stealth, because we will be Stealthy Ninja Bastard. I'll unlock Persuasion now just because, and hell, I'll do 4-point Athletics just because. From there, what skills, or sorry, what feats matter for this build? Well, you are a caster proper, so you better believe things like Spell Focus, Greater Spell Focus, Spell Pen, Greater Spell Pen are of value. Notice, by the way, we got Scribe Scrolls for free, baby. So you're using that. You need to actually get a kit to use them, and the kits range from level 1 all the way to level 9. Obviously, the level 1 only allows you to scribe level 1 spells. Level 2 kit lets you scribe level 2 spells. So you'd have to have all the kits, I believe. I don't think 9 replaces all the ones below it. So just get every last kit, and you'll know you'll be able to scribe spells level 1 through 9, which is of value. So you'll be doing that when you're taking a knee with the party, backing you up, of course. But other stuff of value is things like dodge. You are using a weapon, even if it is a crappy-ass crossbow, so you could do, I'm not suggesting it, you could do things like, what the hell is it? You not have enough attack bonus to get it? I'm looking for rapid shot, sorry. Oh, story the hell down here, the thumbs down category. As a full attack, you can get 2 arrows off, or crossbow bolts off, pop, pop, if you're crossbow with rapid shot. And again, it's a penalty to your swing, but you can do it, and I can get deadly aim in this build. Again, you can do those things. It's just not something you're going to do. You're honestly better off with your cantrips, with your spells. Yeah, you're going to find bad guys that are immune. Switch back to your crossbow in that case, but you really don't need to be, super crossbow man in this build. I would, again, lean heavy into the stuff that matters to you. Having your spell checks land, like illusion spells, or obviously necromancy would be something else we'd invest in. So spell focus in either of those is a solid choice. Here in level 2, remember I said as soon as you unlock a new spell level, you need to make sure to get at least one of those thumbs up illusion spells. Doesn't matter which, all 3 are valid. Invisibility is probably the worst of the 3. So I grab Blur or Mirror Image. From there, I'll get a long range, no spell resistance spell. That's a rage spell, like Acid. Okay. There, level 4. And I believe if you're shutting off XP share where everyone's getting the same amount of XP as one another, by level 4 you may have unlocked Mythic rank 1. So we're going to pretend like you do. So level 4, intelligence bump, and a metric shit ton of fucking skill points thrown back at you, which is nice. Let's get that perception and trickery up, and then from there, I don't mind doing 2 in mobility and stopping. Remember, this is if you ever need to fight defensively, this will give you an extra armor bump. Just 1. But you're still at a massive penalty to your swing. But hey, man, it's extra armor, so sometimes you really need that shit. So let's do that, and then from there, I'm all good with getting Knowledge Arcana to max out, and then we'll do the same with Knowledge World and get those even Steven. From there, I like me some AoE spells like Burning Arc. I like stuff like Resist Energy to protect me. Now, your first Mythic rank. Now, this is where we get tricky here. Remember, you have to be Mythic Hero twice, and then you'll be able to unlock if you follow the Lich path and all the shit you need to do, which, of course, you will. I'll cheat. But, again, at level 3, that's when you finally become Lich. So, Mythic Hero. I'm going to do Dance Macabre just because, for theme, again, your mileage may vary on this. Feel free to be close to the heavens. It's up to you. Close to the abyss seems kind of weird, but, again, you can do that shit if you want to. Bit of Fun is actually not bad because, again, you're an illusionist, so the fact that you get like illusion spell like Mirror Image free of charge, it's not the full strength version, but still pretty goddamn cool. It's kind of nice that that's on tap. And then, of course, at level 2 version, the creative approach, this part here, where you get a +3 circumstance bonus to all your skills. That's of value. If you want to be a skill monkey, Bit of Fun is actually pretty good. But again, we are going to be a Lich, so it makes sense that we do the Dance Macabre. Up to you. For here, what are we going to grab as our first one? Well, we have a laundry list of things. Let's actually walk through them because it is a very big list, and there's some mistakes that can be made. Let's focus on the ones that are available to us right now. On this list, the things that stick out to me: Rupture Restraints, the ability to literally, if you are affected by any of these things, which includes paralysis, as a free action 3 times a day, you can just say, nope, I'm not paralyzed. I'm not frightened, I'm not dazed, I'm not any of these things. You can literally do that. The downside is I don't know how this works if you're frightened. Because frightened usually means that you're running around. Same with confused. You're just running around and you're not controlling your character at all. Confused is a hit or miss one. Sometimes you're confused in a way where they don't give you control of your character. Sometimes they do. On the time when you can control your character, you should activate this and break the confusion effect. So that one at least makes sense, but like I said, for frightened, you literally are not able to control your character. So I don't know how the hell that would work. But that's the thing. Shaken, I can understand that, and all these other ones too. Paralyze is a little weird, but again, for what it does, it makes sense that they'll allow you to break the paralysis. Other stuff in here that's of value. Illusions are our thing, so powerful shadows. When we get those spells that have a quasi-real feel to them, these are like your shadow evocation, shadow conjuration spells, and things of that nature. They have a percentage on them. It's 20% effective, 40% effective, 80% effective. You get the idea, because it's not real, but it's close to real, and as such, it will do a specific amount of damage based on that realness. This is a way to jump up the realness 20% for all those spells. Obviously useful, but not useful right now. Other things that are of value for us: magic nullification, you get immunity to magic when you activate it. I'm assuming multiple times a day. and dispels any spell effects on you. I'm assuming that's evil spell effects, but if that's your buffs too, be real careful with that. Other stuff that strikes out. I mean, Inspirational Leap is good for everybody. Within 50 feet of you, everyone on your team gets a bonus to their initiative and their saving throws against mind-affecting effects and their concentration checks. Who doesn't like all that shit? Enduring Spells is kind of the build that we're shooting for here. So I kind of dig that one. This is the one we're going to grab right now. All this, other words I have in my brain. Like Abundant Casting is always a good choice. If we want summons that last longer, and be tougher, I should say, you want to send it summons. So if you're a Conjurer build, this would be a good choice. Notice that this may not work on Undead. I haven't tested it. I don't know if I can test it, but this is the thing. So be careful with that. Ascendant Element, on the other hand, remember I said that we were going to focus on cold spells? Ascendant Element Cold means that if they were immune or even resistant to cold damage, they're no longer armed from my spells. That's money. That's a good thing to get, and we'll definitely get that at some point. Archmage Armor is another solid choice. Again, I like having Archmage Armor because you're going to be using, as a wizard, as a scroll savant, Mage Armor spell. It's plus 40 armor class, then it's plus 5, then it's plus 6, all the way up to plus 14 by the end of this build. We'll get it, just not necessary right now. Like I said, I want the Enduring Spells ASAP, so that's our goal. So let's grab that one. Cool. Now, just to give you some frame of reference for that. Here's a spell that lasts for at least an hour. This only works for spells that last an hour, just so we're clear, okay? So, if you were to cast a spell on you, normally it would be on caster level 4, so it would be 4-hour buff. Because I have Enduring Spells, any spell that's at least an hour, but less than 24, becomes a 24-hour buff.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah. That's why you do this one. This one's okay, and it's good. There's plenty of spells we have that are an hour long or longer. There's plenty of spells that we'll get that are 10 minutes per caster level, so by the time you're level 6, that's an hour. They can be now basically, not perma, but 24-hour buffs. So, pretty solid upgrades. And of course, this is our ability to affect undead, to damage the living or heal undead. And again, take that off and we should put this over here. Yeah. So again, that's the reasoning, the rationale behind Enduring Spells and Greater Enduring Spells, which is coming later. Moving up. Level 5, I'm assuming you did get a Mythic rank 2 by level 5. Pi 6, I'd say yes. So, again, Scroll Savant level 5. This is where we get some fun. Now again, with Trickery's up, Arcana's up, Perception's up, always up, up, up for those, once you get them to cap, which we have. I'm going to start working on that Knowledge World a little bit into Persuasion, and once this one gets up to matching Arcana, we will always keep it up as well. Again, these are intelligence-based stats, skills, which is why they should always be high, high, high for this type of build. Are we going to go Greater Spell Focus, like go all in on that Illusion right now? We can do that. We can do other stuff like Bastard, Spell Pen, Greater Spell Pen, Spell Specialization, maybe not, but you could in this build. Meta Magic is always of value. Now we're finally up to level 3 spells, so there's a chance for you to do things like extend spells, double the duration, and this is of value for you, so you definitely want this one, so I feel free to grab that. That is not only useful for your buffs, there are other spells that have attack components to them that have durations. Again, an example of one is Snowball, so if I wanted to meta magic that, I could extend this spell. It would be a level 2 version, because extends versions of spells are one level higher. So a level 1 spell becomes level 2 becomes 3, you get the idea. There's a way to take that penalty away, which we can totally do. But it's up to you. And the reason that I mentioned it for Snowball is because it does have a duration. The duration's 1 round for that staggered condition. It could be 2. Even if they make the check, though, it'll still be 0. So there is that. But that gives me 2 different castings of a spell that I know I like. Remember, Acid Arrow does nice damage, but doesn't do that much damage. And I'd rather have a Snowball hitting at level 1 and a Snowball hitting at level 2. So that's of value. From here, notice that we're at level 3 stuff. And again, new spells. We want our first Illusion spell. So we have that free spell slot taken up, right? So there's Displacement. And then I'm going to take something like... Haste is always good. Okay? Now, just to give you a little bit of what if. just to show you a little bit of what you got going on. And again, you'll be scribing spells, so this is not going to be your only list. And every time you find a spell, the first thing or scroll, the first thing you should do is see if it's needs to be used for that immediate fight. If not, and you can scribe it to your book. Yes, then scribe it to your book. And it's automatic, by the way. Those scribings, they're never like a check on that shit, as far as I know. So you just wanted to show you like random spells that you would have access to. So again, if you were to rest up. But by this time in the game, this is how many spells you'd have access to. You'd have this many of those, level 1 spells, level 2 spells, and level 3 spells. Not a bunch, but enough to get around. And again, of course, our infinite use cantrips. Don't forget those. Now, like I said, by level 6, I say you probably have your Mythic rank 2. So let's do that. Savant. Oh, let's get you up a little bit more. Now, I'm going to take Battering Blast because we are a ray caster. And point blank shot, precise shot alone is helping us infinitely when it comes to those things. And we are a dex-based build, so keeping at distance and blasting things are good ideas. Battering Blast is a solid pushing away spell. I love that one. And I'll happily take things like Protection from Energy, Resist Energy Communal, Protection from Arrows is kind of broken. Fireball, Greater Magic Weapon. Again, that works with any weapon, so that could literally be your crossbow. And for multiple hours a day, now perma, well, 24 hours, I can make that a nice buff. And again, that's for one friendly creature, so it doesn't have to be just me, which is nice. Now we're going to do Mythic Rank 2, or Mythic Hero 2. I'm going to write these down here as I'm doing this, though. So we have Enduring Spells. I'm writing this down on a piece of paper for those that are wondering, so that I can actually type this in below the video. So I don't have this build done, I'm doing it on the fly. So what are we going to do here? We want... Look at point blank shot, see how it goes from +1 damage and +1 attack to +2. That's all this gives you. That's the lame sauce. Flawless attacks, you don't get many attacks, so again, useless. Emergency Potion is of value. I like Sorceress Reflex though. This one's a nice one, because literally after the initiative roll, as a swift action, we are allowed to cast any spell that we have that's 2 levels lower than our highest level spell, minimum level 1, and we just cast it. So like you get jumped in the forest, it's our turn, swift action, shield spell, mage armor, whatever. Whoop, kind of nice. Spell Focus, this one's interesting. Notice this one here. Choose a school of magic you already have Spell Focus or Greater Spell Focus in, and increases those numbers by 1. So Spell Focus is normally just 1 to the DC check. Greater Spell Focus would be another 1 to the DC check. Now they would be 2 and 2. So that'd be a +4 to the DC check of Illusion if that's the way we go, which is a valid choice. I'm not doing it now, just saying that's a possibility for you. So I'm going to take Sorceress Reflex, just so that we can be a badass. I notice we have our negative energy insight now. We are immune to negative levels and gain a +4 bonus on saving throws against death effects. We get a +2 bonus on armor class saving throws, weapon attack, and damage rolls against creatures with negative energy affinity, which means basically if you're fighting like undead. The DCs of their class abilities against these opponents increase by 2. Very nice. This also works not just on undead, but not Boozy demons. Apparently, undead demons. Which do you really need to have an undead demon? Damn game, that's just sick. Alright, anyway, leveling up. Now, notice that Mythic Rank 3 will be when we finally unlock Lich. Again, we need to have that 3 by the time we reach level 8. If we get it at level 9, this build will not work. So I'm going to go level 7, and then I'm going to hope that by level 8 you will have unlocked. So again, this is grain of salt here. I think I've tested it significantly enough to prove that it should work. I mean, you're not going to be able to min-max and do like every bit of content up until that point. But you can go back and do quite a few things still and not screw yourself. Just make sure that XP share is being shared with everyone so that you're limiting how much XP you get. So it means until you're a Lich, you're going to have a party. Let's just say it that way. Let's get this guy up now, finally, and then use Magic, or sorry, Persuasion. You have a kingdom to rule. Alright, let's get that Greater Spell Focus now, yeah, for Illusion. Let's get that thing going. I'm going to take that Great Invisibility, and I'm also going to take Phantasmal Killer. 2 spells that are both illusions. And yes, I know that's kind of overkill, right? No, it's not. One will be a free spell a day, doesn't matter which one you pick, and then the other one can be used just like any other spell. You slot it up like normal. Okay. Now is where we get 2 milestones. One level 8 and one at level 3. So the level 8 milestone is the fact that we have our invisibility field. Remember our illusion school? I took it away. I don't know why I did that. But it is there. So you'll see intelligence buff. Those ones always up. And then from there, what you feel. Persuasion. Spells. About time we start getting some dead up in this house, right? So animate some dead. And I like me some Dimension Door. I like teleport from place to place if I need to. There's our invisibility field. That's the thing I was talking about. So that's a level 8 because of our illusion background. I'll show you that here right now. So that looks like this here. Where you literally just activate it. And you see it's already working. Don't leave it on. Good news is after a fight's over, it likes to shut itself off. But when we're not in a fight like this, I can leave it on and be a dumbass and totally fuck myself. So be wary. Leave that down in your tray somewhere where you always see it. Because it will screw you. And you'll be like, where's my invisibility? Ah, you son of a bitch. So that's the thing. I'm going to actually put it down here because I do like to remember that I have it. Now this is what makes this build. Okay, notice the Lich is not unlocked, but it should be. In the game, you'll have done everything you need to be a Lich. I'm not going to tell you how to do that because that ruins the fun. But there is a way to free it up. So we go to level up, and you see all Mythic Pass. You can't do this one though. You need to do ignore class and feat restrictions. I think that's the one. And then you do this. Close it. Yeah. We go. Once you pick it, this is some good news because you'll see that I have access to fucking everything, even though I shouldn't. So don't pick shit that you shouldn't have. Okay, like witches, wandering hex. That's not you. You can't pick that shit. I'm just doing this to illustrate the fact that I can pick what I want and be a Lich. Once you do that, I go back in and reshut off that thing that I check marked, and then it goes back to being normal. But I can still be a Lich at that point. So what are we going to pick? So obviously we're keeping the stuff that is Lich themed stuff. But for example, stuff that strikes my fancy. Again, we still have our abundant casting. We have Archmage Armor, Ascendant Element. Can get that cold damage up in here, so it actually hurts. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's actually grab that one. And I want to write that down. Lich, Ascendant Element, cold. All right. Now this is the reason you want this build. Notice that we have a Mythic Spellbook or a Mythic Spellbook Wizard. That means it's combining it with your Wizard Spellbook. This is the one you must take to make this build awesome. This will allow you to increase your Wizard levels a lot, very fast. And each time we do this, by the way, we'll get free spells. Notice we get a champion, a skeletal champion, you choice of whether he's an assassin, executioner, which means a two-handed weapon wielding son of a bitch, a marksman, so keeping that distance with you. Skeletal Vanguard, literally a tanky motherfucker with a tower shield and a fighter type. So again, a lot of fighter-ish types in here. We can make any of them caster types too, but that's coming later after we become Lord Beyond the Grave and Lady of Death and Dark Rites and all that shit. So we'll unlock better potential later. But again, do you want a two-weapon attacker? Do you want a one-handed, like, strong-hitting motherfucker? Do you want someone to shoot at distance? Or do you want someone to tank? Well, I like tanks because it keeps them off of me and keeps them alive. So I'm going to do that. Notice for Lich Powers, and this is key. This is, again, why we have to do this build, and this has to be level 3 Lich before you become level 9 Scroll Savant. Can't stress this enough. This is key. You have to take Tainted Sneak Attack. We're getting this now. The other two, because you notice that we have one here, and one here. There's 3 altogether. We have to get this one. The other 2 that I like for this build, you can grab what you fucking feel, man. But I like Deadly Magic. So ignore spell resistance and spell immunity 3 times a day. Fuck yes, please. Any creature affected by such spells can't cast spells for 2 to 4 rounds. That sounds awesome. And then the other one I like is the Death Elements? I think it's Death Elements. Yeah, fairly certain. See the creatures killed, one of death, on creatures. Ooh, that's nice. But I like death elements. Not pick it. I'm just going to click it here just so it locks into place and you can see what I'm talking about. The death of elements. This one's interesting because we can change any elemental damage to negative energy. That means there's a toggle that you have. That if I'm shooting a fireball spell, it's now a negative energy spell. If I'm shooting a lightning bolt spell, it's now a negative energy bolt spell. Is the idea. And that's what that basically does. So it just changes the elemental damage type. It's pretty fucking cool. You can also activate this one's broken, I believe. Consume elements for 1 round per 2 mythic ranks, turning all incoming elemental damage into negative energy. Why is that important? Because we have resistance, if not immunity, to negative energy. And again, you can see the appeal. Death magic, we already talked about it. And again, the first one we're going to have to get is Tainted Sneak Attack. Now, why this one? Because this will give us a sneak attack die. This is one of the few ways in the game that you can be a sneak attacker without being a sneak attacker. It just gives it to you. You don't have to be a rogue. You don't have to be a vivisectionist or any of the slayer builds or whatever that would do a dip to get you that 1 sneak attack die that you must have 2 sneak attack die to unlock Arcane Trickster. This is why this build is hinging on us getting this by level 8, because by level 9, if we have this, I can grab Accomplished Sneak Attacker, which I'm going to write down right now because that's a key. Accomplished Sneak Attacker. And then, so we have our Ascendant Elemental, Cold, and then we have Tainted Sneak Attack. And that is a must. Do that. Notice that we're getting 2 more spells. And notice how we jumped in spell level. Why do I say that? Because literally we were at level 3 or 4, not 4, not too long ago. We had Animate Dead already, right? Dimension Door and all this other fun shit. Do you see anything at level 5 that's an illusion? No. And again, we should have, but we're at level 6, so what the hell? So grab Phantasma Putrefaction, then scroll the fuck down here to level 5, and grab yourself one of your illusion spells here. I suggest Shadow Evocation, because fuck yeah. Sounds awesome. Complete. Now, notice you got a little buddy, and notice that your little buddy can be geared up. Fortunately, the game gives them gear. So Tower Shield +3, Longsword +3, but you can switch that shit out. As long as he can equip it, he can fucking use it. He doesn't have, I don't think, a weapon proficiency or anything like that. It just, or weapon focus. So he can do whatever he wants. So if you want him to be Rapier Man, hey man, you've got a kick-ass Rapier, do that thing. You want to steal his longsword to sell it? You can do that if you want to. You can give him armor, you can give him a shirt, you can give him a hat, give him all the fucking gear you give anyone else, and I suggest you do so because currently he's broken. Insofar as that once you get to level 10 Lich, you can't access this screen anymore. Don't ask why, I have no idea what the fuck that's about. But he is strong, he is okay dexterous, he has no con as all undead don't. They remember to use their charisma for their con stat. So his HP is based on that charisma. So if you have any way to bump his charisma, you give him more HP, baby. That's a nice thing. Don't give him anything that bumps his con because it'll do him a damn bit of good. Notice his fortitude check is also based on other undead creature +4. That's partially, I believe, on charisma. So again, if you bump his charisma, that might help a little bit. But he's tough, he's fun, he is a fighter type right now. So again, use him to shield you from all those nasty, nasty bad guys. Now, at this point, this is where we get to have some fun. So, you're going to be level 9. I'm going to assume that you're not going Mythic rank 4 yet. So we're going to level 9 just to show you this one crucial step. Scroll Savant, remember we're taking it all the way to 10. At level 9, this is the milestone. This is where you really need to have everything aligning correctly to get what you want. What do you want? You want Accomplished Sneak Attacker. This requires you to have 1 sneak attack die. We finally got it thanks to Tainted Sneak Attack from the Lich pool. This is the way I can make you a level 30 caster by the end of the build, where most other builds would be level 29. And yes, 29 is still fucking awesome, but it's not 30. We can all agree on that. So this is how we sneak around that shit. As a pun. Anyway, level 6 spells that I like, or we already got, by the way, I should have pointed out that you got some new spells insofar as you got things like Corrupted Blood, Mastery of Flesh, Power from Death, we got Consume Undead, Eyes of the Bodak, that looks fucking amazeballs, Vampiric Blade is sweet, level 5, Bone Explosion, Deny Death, Exsanguinate, Repurpose, Shadow Evocation is the one we picked, Bone Shield, False Grace, Siphon Life, Siphon Time, fucking amazing spells, and some of these will work, some of these will not work with our trick. I'll show you the trick here in a bit. I'm going to grab, again, more illusion and more necromancy spells and buff spells. Again, notice here's some of the spells that we're missing out on. True Seeing is amazing. Greater Heroism is amazing. That sucks. But the good news is if you find these in scroll form, remember we got Scroll Savant once we get to level 10, which we're a hop, skip, and a jump from, we can cast this as if they were level 10 spells. Not level 5 or 6 or whatever, because the scroll sets the level. We set the level now. So, say something like True Seeing, which would only last someone that's using it from a scroll, that might only last a normal person like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever the fuck makes sense. We'll be able to set it to our caster level, so we can just fucking crush shit. Just be like, nope, we want that to be awesome, so you can do so. I'm gonna go, not pick that though, I'm gonna grab, what do we want? Do we have Create Undead in here somewhere? Here it is. Yeah, I need me another Undead. Sure. And yes, they don't last long. There's a way around that. I'm going to grab Cold Ice Strike because I like me a spell that is a swift action spell. Because I can shoot that also through my Undead army because they're immune to cold. Okay, now we have to be choosy. Because I haven't been. And we need to talk about this. Let's go 10 and 4. And again, we're going to go Scroll Savant 10. But notice we do not have Arcane Trickster unlocked officially. Oops, it is. I need it back up. I have everything on unlocked. I need more things, so I need to do that. And now we're back to normal. I want to show this to you though properly. So notice that Arcane Trickster is not unlocked here. If you scroll down, you'll find it, and you'll see that we're missing something. What are we missing? Mobility of 3. We have 2 sneak attack dice, because of accomplished sneak attacker and what have you. We have trickery. We've been pumping that through the fucking roof all this time. We can cast arcane levels 2 spells for a while now. And we have arcane up to beyond 4. So we're doing fine. We just need to make sure mobility goes to 4. I routinely forget this. And you have to get this. Otherwise you can't grab it at level 11. So mobility must be 4. Trickery must be 4. Again, we're fine. Arcana must be 4. Again, we're fine. I always routinely forget this because I think, for some reason, I think it's Trickery, Stealth, and Arcana. It's not. It's mobility. But we're good now. And I'm going to grab Perception up, and let's get a little more use magic device in this his house. Now, level 2 spell, or 7 spell, Greater Shadow Conjuration. Amazing spell, you must have it. And again, I still can't seem to find where Shadow Conjuration is going. The dog outside agrees. But Greater Shadow Conjuration will do in a pinch. And then I want to grab no spell resistance spells. Even though I'm not worried about spell resistance very much, I still like to know that if I just need to hit somebody, here you go, you're taking fucking damage. Okay. Now, Lich Path. And at this point, it's kind of willy-nilly. You can just do as you please. But we like enduring spells. There is a way to get greater enduring spells here. See where it says extra mythic ability? That's these guys here, including greater enduring spells. What you want to do is you want to do extra mythic ability, if you so choose, and get yourself greater enduring spells. I'll write this down. So extra mythic ability, greater enduring spells. And this is the build right here. That's the last thing you really need. You just need to keep pushing Lich and now Arcane Trickster. Notice we are getting Lord Beyond the Grey. This allows us to upgrade our pet, our Skeleton Vanguard. Notice we can make him a Barbarian, where we literally get to pick 2 Rage Powers for him. That's on you. Not a bad idea. Bard, he could have these spells, boom, handed to him. Again, some interesting spells in here. Spells that you don't have access to, by the way. Freedom of Movement being one of my favorites on that list. And again, Heroism being another really decent spell to hand you. So having your pet have them is a solid choice. And again, he's a spontaneous caster at that point, and he can do that thing. Notice that he is, if I remember correctly, all the skeletons are low intelligence, low wisdom, and high-ish charisma. That means Bard casting works for him perfectly fine. But these other casters, the Cleric, the Inquisitor, and the Magus, they would require you get him intelligence, wisdom, and that's it. So you'd have to give him a piece of gear or buff him with a spell for him to even have access to those spells. And that's a problem. Well, for me it is. So I shy away from this, but this is some fun to have with the Inquisitor. Because A, not only does he get a free teamwork feat, he gets Judgment that he can use twice a day, which is fucking awesome. He gets the Bane upgrade, where he can just like suddenly make his weapon a Bane weapon against the target. It's only for short periods of time, but that's fucking sweet. And he gets access to all these spells as a spontaneous caster, much like the Bard. He just has access to these as long as he has enough wisdom. So he'd have to have a wisdom of 14 minimum. He'll cast all those spells. And again, some of those spells include damaging spells, like your inflict moderate wounds, inflict serious wounds, which he can use to heal himself, or your undead army, or you if I cast a specific spell on you, or your teammates for that matter. So this is a solid option. You just need to know that he needs to have wisdom. Cleric is, again, solid too, and notice how he gets like a ridiculous spell list. So Inquisitor's tits, but clerics, he can pick spells. Like an actual spell book. He can pick them like an actual cleric. I like the Inquisitor part though, because again, the buffs that he gets in there are kind of OP. The teamwork feat can jive with other teammates on your party, because you're not going to grab that feat. But there might be one in there that's worth grabbing, like for spell casting or spell pen and shit like that. So have him stand side by side with you, and you both get that buff to spell pen. So again, some fun to be had here. But I do like spontaneous casters, as you know. The Magus one, I've got to imagine that thing's just straight broken. And he doesn't get the cool spell ability he does. So he can cast spells and attack with his weapon. He can't cast spells through his weapon, which seems like a mistake. And his list is actually extremely truncated for some reason. I don't know why they think the Magus is OP. I can't imagine. Brother Mutant never said they were. Anyway, I'm going to go with... I'm just going to go with Bard, because it's just easier right now. But you'll pick whatever makes sense to you. From here, level 7, again, we don't have any... We do have an illusion spell, so we're good. We don't have to grab an illusion one again. There's some fun shit to have in here. I do like things like the stuff that makes you immune. Ice body, excuse me. You're immune to ability score damage, blindness, critical hits, disease, drowning, blah, 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 and more things. So again, an amazing spell. And for many, many minutes, and with greater enduring spells, that could be 24 goddamn hours. It probably is, as a matter of fact, right now. I'm also going to grab... I do like Walk Through Space. But I also like Almost Strike, because it is a raise spell and it is a necromancy spell. So again, something to be had that's fun. And again, that's pretty nice. Now, I want you to see something here before we go any further. At this point, this is where we become an Arcane Trickster, but I want to rest. I'm going to gift myself one of each of those things. But before we level up, I want you to see something here. We have... Your caster level 14. Okay? Now, that's not good enough. But at the very next level, whether it's Lich or whether it's Wizard or Arcane Trickster in our case, you will be level 15 here, minimum. Okay? So again, either of those that I upgrade with will put me to caster level 15. Why does that matter? Well, let's go to a spell that matters. Here's Haste. Here's Haste meta magic with our Extend, remember? We wanted to make it last twice as long because it's just that good of a spell. So here's your extended version of Haste. 1 round per level. Well, in our case, now that it's extended, it should be 2 rounds per level. So what does that mean? 14 rounds becomes 28 rounds. 30 rounds would be what? 3 minutes? That's getting close. We need it to be caster level 25 and extended like this before we can make Haste a 24-hour buff. This is why this build is powerful. And again, we can do it with other spells too. Like here's Eyes of the Bodak, a spell that, again, we only have access to because of it. You can't do it with this one. See that? Magic Extend won't let you. Be a damn shame, because I thought about that. Like walking around 24 hours a day where you just have the ability to gaze at a bad guy and they just take negative level drain. It'd be fucking sweet. So some of these newer spells will not meta magic. Be aware of that fact. Okay, so it's really fucking annoying. But there's other stuff that will work, like find it. Is it the Vampiric Blade? Oh, it's none of them. I could have sworn there was at least one. But again, other spells that right now, even without doing the extended version, now I have a shield spell where I don't need the extended version. I get it literally thanks to greater enduring spells, 24-hour buff. That one's been a 24-hour buff for a long time now. A reduced person, 24-hour buff. How about Blur, 24-hour buff. Resist Energy has been a 24-hour buff for a long time now, because this is another one of those that's 10 minutes per level. All you have to do is get it to caster level 6. That's a 60-minute buff. That's a 1 hour. with enduring spells, that alone is enough to make this a 24-hour buff. And again, only per one element. But if you cast it multiple times, you slot it 5 times in your spell book. You have one for acid, one for cold, one for electric, one for fire, and one for sonic. And boom, 24 hours a day, you're fucking shielded from all elemental damage. Or all those elements, anyway. The ones we're trying to extend, because that's the trick here. We need to extend them, and we need to be caster level 25 minimum to be able to get it to be 24-hour buff, are the ones that are 1 round per caster level. So things like Haste, Displacement, Greater Invis, shit like that. It's going to make you a fucking god among gods, and that's why you like this build. Now, we're not doing Scroll Savant ever. And we are now doing Arcane Trickster, and we finally met all the requirements for it, and it took almost as long to get there. So, Trickery, Arcana, let's keep you going, that up as well, and at this point I would ignore mobility. But notice that we've unlocked a metric shit ton of stuff now. Like, there is a whole laundry list of stuff that's suddenly new, and now Use Magic Device is no longer on the totem pole. This is clearly a glitch. This is something that's a bug report offense. So, if this works like it should, if this is accurate, we should still have the green check mark next to Use Magic Device because we were a Scroll Savant for 10 levels. So that literally should always be there. So that means if this is accurate, we have a green check mark next to everything. And that'd be awesome, because that means we get a +3 added in. All we gotta do is 1 point in it, and we got a +3 to this fucker. That's the class skill you're seeing over there on the side that says class skill, +3. It's because of that green check mark. So that's pretty nice. What else might you be interested in? Well, again, we already have our kingdom. I do like stealth. So again, I'm squishy and I don't want being killed. But notice some of the things we get for Arcane Trickster that you're going to enjoy. Not only do we get full spell progression, level 1 through 10, still adds to our spell book. That's the reason that you like this build against caster level 30. We also get the ranged Legger Domain. That's basically mage hands that allows you to do trickery skills at a distance, but there's a penalty to the check. This is in case the trap goes off and you're nowhere near the trap. It's kind of cool mechanic, but it's one of those where fuck that 5 penalty. I'll just walk up on it and scum save it. We get extra sneak attack dice up to 5. That's pretty fucking baller. And we get this impromptu sneak attack, so this is really nice because again, when just like 4 times a day, excuse me, you can literally just say, nope, I'm sneak attacking you. You are flat-footed for my next attack. And if they're immune to sneak attack, it still benefits you because they are still flat-footed. So they have lost their dodge. They have the dexterity modifier that they had, assuming that they had some to begin with. So these are still of value, even if it's against a sneak attack immune bad guy. Still let you hit them with stuff, is my point. Notice this part here, the Invisible Thief, is the exact same thing as the Invisibility Field. Number of rounds a day equal to your Trickster level, so by the end of the build it'll be 10 rounds. Thanks to this, we have 10 rounds of Invisibility Field. So between the two of them, we have a full 20 rounds of just on-tap Greater Invis, which I thought you thought that'd be cool. And then, of course, at level 20, which is, of course, pie in the sky, into the game, dreaming here, you get Surprise Spells. So this is late, but it couldn't be helped because you really, really, really wanted Scroll Mastery as soon as possible. So 10 levels straight. Again, it's the same problem that I had with Eldritch Knight. I could have gone Eldritch Knight way sooner than level 11, but then I don't get Scroll Mastery. And Scroll Mastery is what makes this build fucking sweet, okay? We're not done yet, though, so let's keep going with this. What else are we going to get with our Arcane Trickster? What have we been working on? Accomplished Sneak Attacker, Greater Spell Focus Illusion. It's about time we get some Spell Focus up in here for some Necromancy, don't you think? I think so. Let's make Necromancy that thing. Notice that it's immediately at level 1 Arcane Trickster asking you what school or what spell book you want to increase. And these are the ones that they have listed. These are the only ones that can be Arcane Trickster, though, by the way. Because I know the Magus would have worked as well. Let's grab that Greater Shadow Evocation, yes please. And then, oh gee, that's a nice looking icon in it. Ah, friendly! I think I met her in a bar once. Let's see, let's grab ourselves some buffage. I like Sea Mantle. Sea Mantle is an amazing spell. Again, it doesn't matter, you're going to grab every spell. But, Sea Mantle's awesome. And this is the nice one that lasts for a long, about 24 hours, period of time for you, or, yeah, just for you. But it's a solid armor class bonus and a reflux bonus as well. It does some other things, but by and large, it's the armor that you gave a shit about. Let's grab that mythic rank up some more. Go. No, not devil. You're a lich. Thank you. What we're going to grab at this point. And again, honestly, at this point, it's really what pies your sky's your oyster, whatever the fuck the phrase is. But I like abundant casting. I also like favorite meta magic. Remember, we have extend. We can make that one level upgrade. Remember, it takes caster level 1 spell to caster level 2 spell slot. But I can now take it away. That's not bad. So, like, all my spells that can be extended should be extended. And I think that's a solid choice. Even if it's ones like Haste and the ones that we haven't been able to make 24-hour buffs yet, you still want it to be twice as long, don't you? I know I do. So we'll grab that as soon as you can, I'd say. From here, I'm going to grab me Greater Angelic Aspect. This is another one that we can make for 24-hour buff. Nice deflection bonus. Bonus to your saving throws against evil creatures. Basically a solid spell, and you get all these wonderful things like immunity to acid and cold, some DR10/evil, which means only if it's an evil weapon will it penetrate that DR. Again, for a 24-hour buff, that's a solid amount of protection. I don't need stone skin thanks to that, quite frankly. Well, I'll probably still grab it because of layers. But again, a lot of really good protection buffs here. So we got a really nice spell. I'm going to grab Polar Ray. Yeah, let's shoot people in the face. We're cold. Awesome. And that one's no saving throw. That's just a spell resistance problem. Again, you see we're getting some ridiculous amount of spells per day, which is really nice. Okay, let's do that. Let's see where we at here. I'm going to do 12 and 6. Sure. Again, these are all guesses at this point because I have no idea when we get those milestones. Remember, never scroll Savant again. I hate the fact that it doesn't automatically come back up to Arcane Trickster. That's one of my bugaboos. But now we got another metric shit ton of fucking skill points dumped on us. Bam! You weren't a skill monkey before, you are one now. I say it's time for us to diversify. Sounds good. Shades. This is the spell. This is the illusion spell you were hoping for. They didn't have this in Kingmaker, by the way. This one is the Shadow Conjuration, Greater Shadow Conjuration, and Shades. Those are the triumvirate. Those are 3 Conjuration Shadow spells. Shades is the best of the 3. It allows you to cast any, and I mean any, Conjuration spell level 8 on down. That includes cantrips. Well, that you give a shit, but it's there. And again, all you have to do is slot it. This is amazing. These are the spells that when I take a Sorcerer build, these are the ones I take for a Sorcerer. Because again, Shadow Conjuration, Greater Shadow Conjuration, Shadow Evocation, Greater Shadow Evocation, and Shades was in Neverwinter Nights 2. And I took them every fucking time for a spontaneous caster, like a favored soul or a sorcerer. I took them every time because the utility of those spells was just fucking ungodly, man. And remember, those are spontaneous casters, where you don't get to prepare your spells every day like a wizard does. No, you literally have to pick and choose the spells that you will use for all time. Well, a spell that literally is like every spell under the sun, why wouldn't you want to have that slotted 4 times? So again, I will, for a wizard, slot this more than once. And again, the fact that we get it free, remember I'm an illusionist, so I can slot that as a free spell at every level, 1 through 9. I have an illusion spell all the way up to level 9, so this is my free illusion spell. That doesn't mean that's the only time I'm going to slot it. I'll slot that a couple extra times, because that thing is just money. Other shit that's of value in here, I like Fiery Body. So it's a decent buff. This one is a little different than Ice Body in that not only does it give you a dex bonus, which is sweet, it does this last sentence here, which is money. Fire spells you can cast have their DCs increased by 1. That may not be amazing to you, but on an Evoker build where you went Spell Focus, Evocation, Greater Spell Focus, Evocation, Elemental Focus Fire, Greater Elemental Focus Fire, and then cast a spell on yourself, and we're like focused on fire spells because that's your fucking thing, suddenly you have a DC check of +5. Not +4 or +2 or +1. You got a +5 with the DC check, and that's fucking sweet. Okay. Now, lich it up. And what we're going to grab now? We are going to grab... Oh, I forgot what I grabbed here. I need to write that down. I want to say favorite meta extend. Don't want to forget. Sometimes these things delete, like the icon that you're seeing here, you won't be able to see it. So that's why I'm writing it down now. What we're going to grab now. Again, there's some good stuff in here still. Notice the spell focus mythic. Choose a school of magic you have already spell focus and we can increase the DC check. Notice school of mastery. Select one school of magic. All spells that you cast that belong to this school have their caster level increased by 1. So if I wanted to have illusion spells be level 31 by the end of this build, I can do so. If I wanted it to be necromancy spells, because that's our thing, we could have them do that as well. That is a valid option. And this would be, by the way, a way around that, a way around the Eldritch Knight 1 level spell progression fucked. Because remember, you only get 29 caster levels if you take Scroll Savant 10, Eldritch Knight 10, and Lich 10 and merge the spell books. Because that very first level of Eldritch Knight, you lose a spell progression. But with School Mastery, for say just Necromancy, I could be back up to level 30 as far as those spells are concerned. And that's something, I guess. But what am I going to grab? Mythic Sneak Attacker, again, I did check this. This just adds another sneak attack die. That's all that does, dude. So don't waste your time. Again, Floss Attacks is some shit. Emergency Potion is interesting. Notice how this one, remember our where did it go? Our Sorcerer's Reflex is similar to this. Whereas this is a spell you cast, this is a potion you drink. This one, though, only works as a swift action on the very first combat round. As soon as you can control your character, they'll let you do a swift action spell. Whereas this one here is, you can drink a potion as a swift action. It does no limit. It doesn't say what round it has to be on. So anytime I want to do potion, swift action. Now this may be broken, I haven't tested it, so this would be something worth checking. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of cool with that because there are some good potions for you to drink. And remember, potions still jive off of your enduring spells and your greater enduring spells. So for example, if I had a Mage Armor potion way the hell back here, I could chug it and it would be a 24-hour buff. If I get greater enduring spells, which I have, I can take potions like Barkskin, a spell that I don't even have access to. Chug that little fucker and suddenly it's a 24-hour buff. So you can see the appeal. So let's grab Emergency Potion just for that reason alone. Let me write that down. Emergency Potion. Plus, we're doing Deadly Magic now or Death of Elements? Well, you are a magic caster. Let's do Deadly Magic first. Now, other stuff. Again, you're going to grab everything, but I do like my necromancy spells like Energy Drain. These are raise spells, and I do like my... as weird as to say, this is a spell that you almost can't do without. Again, this is one of the reasons that it kills me to take Divination as a penalty school. Foresight is an amazing spell because you are never flat-footed. And I can make this 24 hours a day casting. Yes, it will take 2 spell slots, but to have a 24-hour day buff where I'm never flat-footed and I get a nice little armor class bonus and reflex save bonus, that's an insight bonus which stacks with other bonuses of different kinds, that's money. That's something that will save your ass. So feel free to grab this up. Again, you're grabbing everything, but the point's still the same. It's a solid spell. You should definitely want that one. Now, where are we at? No, don't do... yeah. Let's just grab a level. Okay, Arcane Trickster again. Which, by the way, I need to do a little backpedaling here, buddy. Let's see, level 3. Spell Focus. Illusion. Level 5. And then Magic. Extend. Level 7 was Greater Spell Focus. Then level 9. Sneak Attacker, I got that one already. Now we're up to level 13, so I'm missing something here. Am I? Yeah, what the hell? I'm missing a feat. I'll figure it out. Accomplish Sneak Attacker, or sorry, Arcane Trickster, level 3. Okay, keep going with the ones that you're going with. You know what you're doing. And at this point, you are a stealthy ninja bastard. Why not get that stealth up a little higher? Or you could, like, again, focus on Kingdom and, Persuasion. You're going to use Magic Device as well. What are we going to do here? Spell Focus? No. Where's our Greater Spell Focus? That's got to be in the thumbs down category. Because you already have one Greater Spell Focus, they assume you don't want another. So we're going to get Greater Spell Focus Necro. Well, that's probably what was level 11. Greater Spell Focus. Necro. Spell focus, Necro. Alright. That's nice. And that means those two categories of spells that you're badass at, you're definitely going to be even more badass at. Let's see. Level spells. I don't mind stuff like your Mind Blank. The communal one, again, is a fine example. Again, because it lasts for 4 hours. Again, 24 hours for you automatically, thanks to enduring spells. So that's a solid upgrade for you and your team. But again, there's a lower version where it's just personal Mind Blank, and that one's like an hour per level. Well, it's 24 hours by default. There you go. Iron Body, this one, shy away from it simply because, well, here, let's just select it. So just because it does provide you with arcane spell failure. See that? Why, I don't know. You turn it into an ice body, it's not a problem. A fire body's not a problem. Iron body, oh no, we gotta fuck you over. What the fuck for, man? You're already giving me a -6 to my dexterity, you dick. So this one's a terrible spell, and I don't like it. What do I like, though? I like protection from spells. I like pit spells, because, again, no spell resistance. Again, conjuration. Well, this one's a neat... Oh, maybe not. Yeah, conjuration. Conjuration. Amazing spell. And no spell resistance. You gotta love those spells. There's other cool ones in here. You know, summons. Just because you're not summoning undead doesn't mean you don't want summon elementals or summon monsters. There's some good ones in there. Especially being evil. You get to summon some undead motherfuckers. Or some stuff that looks like they're undead, I should say. The Bogeyman, Soul Eaters are fucking mean. Again, that's just grab it. Fuck it. Again, you're gonna grab everything, so I'm not worried. Now we're gonna do 14 and 7. At this point, we're going to do, every time we do an even number here, we'll do a number of mythic rank. Because again, I have no idea when these will actually spawn on your face. Again, don't take Scroll Savant, Arcane Trickster. Okay, and I'm going to grab a couple of them and one of those. Spell-wise, again, what you feel, but go through your list. Protection from spells, solid, and again, 10 minutes per level with the 10 diamond dust. Yes, it's pricey. You will get that +8 resistance to save throw against spells and spell-like abilities for 24 hours a day. For you or a teammate. That's amazing. Other stuff I would want to grab. Banishment should work in this game extremely well. Same with, I was going to say dismissal. These are spells that are taking extraplanar creatures like demons and sending them back to their home plane. So this should actually work in this game. I haven't tested this. But this would be something you should at least have 1 or 2 of slotted up, so you could just say, fuck those demons, go back home. And if they fail their check, they literally just gone. The fight's over. So, and dismissal is, like I said, this is the weaker version of this. Banishment's the big brother version. Okay, mythic rank. Lich. What are we going to grab now? On another mythic ability. Again, I don't mind more spells, so where's our improved spells? It's going to be under what? Oh, we haven't even taken abundant casting yet. Oh, what the hell, Brother Mutant? Get some of that abundant casting up in here. We already got a metric shit ton of spells. Why not have 12 more? And that's nice for me. And let's come on down here to make sure there's not something at the lower levels that we're missing out on, like True Strike. How about we grab... Oh... Sense Vitals is another one that you will miss. And being the thumbs down category, another divination spell. This is one of the 2 divination spells that I really fucking hate that we miss out on. Sense Vitals and Foresight. One's level 2, one's level 9, I know. But... they are that good. Sneak attack damage, extra sneak attack damage, and while this one says it casts out at 15th level, that sucks for you, but that's 5d6 of extra sneak attack damage. And again, once we get to that caster level 25, which we might be right now. No, we're 15, we're 19. No, I can't be right. Okay, where are we at? Look. 21. There we go. We need to get to 25. And the reason I say that is because of spells like this. If I literally extend that fucker, which I can do. So you do this, you meta magic it, you say I want that, I want it extended, and yeah, it's going to be a higher spell slot. It'll be level, well actually it should normally be level 3, it'll still be level 2 thanks to our favored meta magic. Right, that spell. Here it is. This is the one, oops. I hate when I fuck it up. Meta magic. That. border. There we go. This is the one you want to slot. And again, this one will allow me now to 24 hours a day. Once I'm caster level 25, this extended version will last for 5 minutes. Because it lasts for 5 minutes, now it'll last for 24 hours. So I can wake up in the morning once I'm caster level 25, and I have extra 5d6 of sneak attack, bitch. Boom. Just an amazing screw you spell right there. Alright, what are we at now? Let's do 15. Come on. Wait, not Scrolls of Savant. Stop doing that to me, game. Arcane Trickster. I made a mistake when I did this video once before. It pissed me off, and I was like, no, because I hadn't saved. I haven't saved yet. Where are we at here? Let's grab... Alright, let's talk about this elephant in the room. So, I know it says that we don't have the green check mark, but it should be there. So I think that's a lie. So this should actually be a 7-8. That should actually be an 11. Because 3 points higher. So if that's an 11, remember you always roll a nat 10. On that nat 10, if a nat 10 is enough. So on 11 plus 10 would be a 21. That would be good enough for you to always cast scrolls from level 1. So our goal is to get to 19. If we have a 19 over here, then that means that we can cast any scroll. And right now it's 11, but add 3 more, that's at 14. So we need 5 more points invested here. So this needs to be a 13. That means that we will be able to pass every scroll check always, without fail. Let's see what else we got. And we actually probably don't need that much, by the way. Let's go back real quick. We probably don't need to have that 13, like I said, because if we go 5 higher on here, this brings up to 16. 3 more makes it 19. But remember, this is also based on our charisma. Our charisma sucks, but if you get gear that buffs your charisma or buffs your skills, which we have those spells, then again, we will be at the goal of 19. So the point is, I just need 19 over here at some point, somewhere, somehow. So we don't have to keep pushing this one. This one we can probably stop at that point. We're going to grab at this point. Did we get our spell pin, greater spell pin, and all that shit? Not. Brother, what are you doing to me? Let's do that. Spell pin. What's this? Level 5, 15. Spell pin. I'm going to grab... Like I said, I like those rift spells. And I like... no, we're looking for some cold stuff up in here. Where's my cold spells at? Let's try this again. Icy Mass Prison. Oh, let's look for Icy Prison. That's gotta be like, what, 7 or 8? Or 6? Yeah, you're in here somewhere. I know you're in here. Where you at, Icy Prison? Alright, I missed it. Yep, missed it. Where the hell are you? Oh, I see, prison. Did I already grab it? I may have grabbed it already. Open up. Cold Ice Strike. Nice body. Hold right. No, I didn't. You're a lying bastard. Where is my icy prison? Okay, wow, that's just weird, man. I'm gonna take Mass Icy Prison and fuck you. I'll take the Big Brother version. I don't care. I don't give no fucks. Going on. Now we're going to do a 16-8. Cool. What we got here? And that's Scroll Savant. Don't lie to me, game. You're going 6 for that Arcane Trickster. More sneak attack dice. I love that. Remember, we got more impromptu sneak attack. Keep forgetting to point that out to you. More intelligence. It's going to give us even more skills eventually, and more spells a day. Again, I'm happy with that being done. At this point, probably persuasion and stealth would be the things I give a rat's ass about. Let's slowly go through these ones here, just to make sure there's not something cool that I'm missing out on. Like an illusion spell that I missed out on. Or mirror image, there you go, find example. How about we grab ourselves some... Stinking Cloud will work with your pets. You're undead. Remember, they're immune to poison. So again, this is a perfect spell. That and Cloud Kill. So that's something you would have had by now, too. Just to point that out to you. Okay. Lich. What you got for me? Alright, where we at now? Another Mythic Feat. Now we have... Spell Pen. Add half your mythic rank to caster level checks to overcome spell pen. That sounds fun. And this one, literally, if we get greater spell pen, we get to add our full mythic rank. So right now we're only getting a +4 to our spell pen, and +2 thanks to spell pen itself. So we're actually at a +6, if you will. By the end of this build, I plan on having both of those things, so greater spell pen as well, which would be this one that we'll grab down here. This one's already done. I need to grab greater spell pen in my feat picks, probably by level 17. Point is, then I'll get the full buff. So 9 and greater spell pen would be 4, so it'll be 13 spell pen and then 14 spell pen at the end of the game. That's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna grab what we want. I'm gonna grab things like walk through space. Sounds like fun. Chains of Light, that's a nice paralysis spell that does not have spell resistance. Just saying. And I know we're just talking about all the spell pen that we just gave ourselves. Not the point. Again, you're grabbing every spell. Going from there. What did I just say to grab there? That was... Damn it. My brain's not working, guys. Give me a minute. What the hell did I just grab? Spell pen. There it is. Spell pen. Mythic. Just so I keep it straight in my head for what the hell I just did. And then I'm good with that. So let's do this thing. Level 17. Pow. Oh, we're going to do not Scrolls of Savant. Arcane Trickster. More sneak attack, or more impromptu sneak attack. Excuse me. Got that trickery up to a nice level. Perception. The knowledges are just crushing it right now. Again, I'm okay with you pushing that one up. Again, you do have a kingdom to rule with all your undead minions. What are we going to grab now? Now I said that I wanted that greater spell pen, yes. And again, that's really nice for us. I'm going to grab... Go back down here and work our way up. Like my rays. Ray of Exhaustion can be good. Vampiric Touch, you probably had that though by now. Want to have... Innervation. That's another ray spell. The weaker version of Energy Drain, but still solid spell. Right down that greater spell pen. Okay. And 18 and 9 mythic ranks. It's going to give us what? It's going to give us 9, 8 Arcane Trickster levels. Next. Oh, we're going to do that, and what the hell? Bring it all the way up. Nice. I'm going to take weird just because it's been staring at me this entire time. Some Slating Pattern. I hate Confused. No. I will, however, take Horrid Wilting as a nice necromancy spell. 2 beans. Mythic rank Lich. Alright, we are going to be improved abundant casting. It's more likely than not. Again, Rupture Restraints is valid, but in Powerful Shadows, matter of fact, shit. Damn it. Well, with that next Mythic Feat, I can grab something else. Let's do that. So let's grab Powerful Shadows now. Powerful Shadows. Because of our illusion bent. And this will be where we grab our Death of Elements. And again, know that this is currently broken. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. From there, I'm going to grab... Be interesting. Oh, no. Let's get a little something elemental jackass in here every now and again. And again, I like Acid Fog for once we have immunity to acid, we slap a spell on us or two that has acid resistance enough. This will never hurt us, but you can stand in it, and again, not affected by spell resistance. The bad guys will just have their flesh melted off them. And notice this part here should work. Granting all creatures inside the fog plus 8 bonus to armor class against normal ranged attacks. It says normal. I think they just mean that it's not like spells. I think they mean like bows and arrows and shit like that. And the reason for that is they can't see in the cloud. This is how a modder took this aspect of this spell back for Kingmaker, and they added it to other spells like Cloud Kill and Stinking Cloud and other spells that they made, like I can't think of the name of the damn spell now. It's one of my favorite spells too. Or like I'm gonna say Steaming Mist. I know that's wrong. But there's another spell, like a low-level conjuration spell that's like a cloud that you basically summon, like a fog cloud. Maybe that's what it is. And it literally is nothing more than concealment or armor for you and your team to hide in this ship. It's a really nice spell, but it's not in this game, sadly. Right, now we have... before we do that, I need to show you that we are now caster level 27. We actually, before that last level up, we were at high enough to do what we need to do. This is what I wanted to show you. So if we have rested and have our spells like Sense Vitals, see how it didn't get back? It's because it's one of my non-favorite spells. It takes 2 spell slots, but now it's there. So now we can do that. See how it's 24 hours? You can do the same with things like Haste.
Let's shake a leg.
And I can cast it. Where the hell?
Shall we move? We shall move.
So there's Haste for me and my buddy, and again the whole damn team. But that's the 2 minutes for 40 seconds. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. If you want that right, so I need to go to my spell book, go to Haste, delete you. Same with these guys, and again you would go through this. You would be doing this while you're leveling your character up. You would make sure that you had the extended versions of all these, especially once you had favored meta magic. So this is not something that shouldn't have been done already. You do that, you do this one, magic, and you say that, and you go to color scheme, and border, and there you go, and then you go back to here and you say, definitely give me the good version of displacement, definitely give me the good version of haste a couple times, and other spells as well. And then, by the way, it does work with Vampiric Touch too, because it's 1 hour. You don't have to extend it, and in fact, I don't think they let you extend it. Oh, they do, though. They changed that, didn't it? Wasn't that way in Kingmaker. Maybe that's why it works then. But you could literally have this last for 2 hours, or with our enduring spells, it will last you 24 hours. Now, yes, it won't last you that long because it's 10 HP, but the point's still the same. I hate when it falls off. So it's kind of nice. And again, you should be going through all your spell books, and anything that you could literally extend, you should do so. Even if enduring spells is going to work on it by default, because now that we have favored meta magic, it doesn't cost you anything. Like I can actually meta magic up level 9 spells, because it should normally be level 10. It's not, because my favorite meta magic. That's the only way I can do this. So again, I can do that. You might as well, just for simplicity's sake, do it for all of them. And notice how shades and all your other illusion spells, some of these will work, some of these will not. So their shades won't, greater shadow evocation will, and again, it makes no sense because conjurations is what shades is all about. So that's got to be one of those that should be submitted as a bug report. But again, I could do that for shadow conjuration, greater shadow conjuration, and so forth. So again, it doesn't seem to want to for the conjurations for some reason, and that's weird because conjurations are almost always spells that last, whereas evocations are rarely spells that have a duration. See what I'm saying? It's odd. The bugs, man, in this game are real. Let's just say it that way. But just know that that's a thing. And again, like I said, I wanted to show you that you could actually make yourself. Let's actually just quick rest up to get those spells back. That you would make yourself a 24-hour buff bot, and more than just that. Again, we're not done yet. I just wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna need you to cast the goddamn spell. That's a weird glitch. But I wanted to show you that again. You can be the 24-hour buff bot guy, where you just have like a retarded amount of spells that shouldn't last for 24 hours, but they do. And again, that's what this build is all about. And you throw in that. Same with the last one to really show you is level 4. It's the Greater Invis. This one, again, as soon as you can get this to be perma for 24 hours, you want to do it, because it really is just that good. 10. Rest of all our spells back, and let's just cast that spell on you. just really don't know if I can cast this spell. Alright. So there's your greater invis again for 24 hours a day. Now, yeah, you're going to come across bad guys that want to strip your spells off you, so you want to slot them more than once, or at least some of your favorites. I'd say more than once. So don't just blow your wad when you wake up in the morning. And again, you will be traveling on the overland map. You'd be surprised how fast you churn up 24 hours by walking from place to place. So again, you want some backups, or you want to not cast them the minute you wake up. You can wait a little bit before doing that shit, just to say. And remember, you always have your invisibility field. And where's the other one? Oh, we don't have it yet. We're not that level yet. Which is coming soon. In fact, I think it's coming right now. It is. Now scroll Savant. Stop doing that to me. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Invisible Thief. Boom, 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 boom. And get some of that stealth up. Sure, why not? At this point, there's nothing left for us to grab. Combat reflexes, no. Combat casting could be okay. You could be a brute potions guy, but you're already scribing scrolls probably every knee. If there's anything in here worth a damn, things like dodge or value, disruptive dispel synergy, those things are alright. Stuff that's spell focused. I mean, honestly, I do probably elemental focus cold. Matter of fact, let's just do that. Because you do have enough cold spells that a bonus to the DC check on that would be of value. And remember, our cold spells are ignoring full damage, or immunity. So that's nice. Again, doesn't much matter what we grab here. Let's look for a cold spell, though. You got anything cold? I want stuff like Hellfire Raid. I know it's not cold, but I want it. I want Phantasmal Web. I want that too. But there's Cone Cold. Yeah, sure. Okay. Now, this will be your last levels. 20 and 10 for Mythic rank. And again, I don't know when these fall, so this may be completely wrong. But this will be what the finished build is going to look like. Arcane Trickster 10. Last point of intelligence. You have a massive fucking amount of spells, massive DC checks, and a metric shit ton of fucking skills, buddy. Boom, boom, boom. And again, that's more than enough with a nice little headgear to put you above what we needed you to get. Maybe if you don't have enough for that, you can cast Heroism or Greater Heroism on yourself. That's a skill bonus spell. And again, those will be perma for you if you get them to 5 minutes or better, which is easy to do. Bam! Your 24-hour buff for all your fucking skills. At this point, again, we could put 6 and 6 in here, but honestly, I think I just want to have a stealthy motherfucker. We throw that in, and then that greater invisibility toggles that we have, or greater invisibility perma on your character. That's another 20 on top of that, so that's a 43. Then throw in more dexterity gear, because you know you're gonna, and you're gonna be well into the low 40s, or the high 40s, low 50s for your stealth ability, which means most things aren't gonna see you, is the goal. Again, I don't care. I'll grab what? Everyone likes to disintegrate some shit. Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Matter of fact, I just thought of something. So you know how we have that spell, or the ability to make our cold spells go and ignore spell resistance and cold resistance and cold immunity? This spell does cold. It does actually all 4 of the 5 elements. It does acid, cold, electric, and fire. And what it does is it damages them as a ray spell all at once. And whichever does the most damage, which should probably be cold, will tick, tick, tick for extra damage for multiple rounds. That could be of value. That would be interesting. So that'd be a fun one to test. Not that I'm doing it today, just saying. The reason I'm not testing it is because I'd have to find something that is resistant to physical or elemental damage, including cold, knowing that I have, where are you, bastard? Ascendant element cold. Cold should be the only part of that spell that does full damage, the 2d6 of damage, because it will do more damage more likely than not. That means the tick, tick, ticks will be cold, cold, cold. And again, with the Ascendant Element cold kicking in, they should take full fucking damage from that. So again, that's another nice spell for that reason alone. If that works. What did I say I was going to grab here? It's going to be another mythic ability, I believe, wasn't it? Archmage Armor is waiting for me. Been waiting for a while. Improved abundant casting, though. Damn, there's too many things, man. As a caster, this is how casters get screwed. So we're going to say extra mythic ability. And you can either improved abundant casting, which is what I'm going to take. And I'll put it, or you may want that Archmage Armor. There's just too many good things here. And I suppose, honestly, I could have gotten rid of, say, Emergency Potion at level 6. This guy here. And grabbed, again, an extra mythic ability. You can grab this multiple times. And this could have been swapped out for the Archmage Armor at that point. And that probably would have been a better call. But I do like the Emergency Potion idea. I mean, the whole point is literally, oh shit, chug. And still get to cast a spell? Fuck yes. So let's show you how that works. And we finish this up with this. I want a tsunami. It's been staring at me all this time. And I want to do things like... what? It's the Whale of the Banshee. You gotta have the Banshee Blast. Sure, why not? Okay, and again, you're gonna have every fucking spell. Note, by the way, that there are spells that there are not scrolls for currently in this game, so that's a problem. But you have a smattering of spells. Notice that we have level 1, level 2, level 3, 4, 5, and 6. We got a metric shit ton of spells. And again, you just can't say enough good things about getting free shit. So know that's a thing. Know that every spell you have that you can extend, you will extend. You will check it. This one says it can. That's a bullshit lie. But you will check to see if you can. And again, something that you didn't know, because I hadn't talked about it yet, is the trick with spells. Let me give you an example of a couple. Your Stinking Cloud, that's again another 1 round per level, but if we meta magic it, that would actually be 60 rounds. So you may say, oh, this one's going to be for an hour, or for 24 hours that you can cast that out there. Just hide in the fucking Stinking Cloud. Sadly, no, you cannot. So let's actually put this out here. Like, yay. And where's the other one? Animate Dead, this one, and then we can go to level 6 and meta magic up the Create Undead and extend it, because it's also 1 round per caster level. So I want to do Create Undead, the extended version. Again, you'll do this for every spell, so I'm not going to waste your time on that shit. But I wanted to show it to you. So let's trick rest. Let's get out of this goddamn music for one. Start doing money. So let's go down into the dungeon. To the area. You can't even see me. This dark's just flying in midair. What the actual hell? What wizardry is this? Sorry, couldn't resist. You will be extremely tough. I want to get downstairs. There's a couple of things I want to show you. One, the how to use the scrolls. It's automatic, but again, I want to show you how that works. And then I want to also show you something that you probably hadn't even considered. Again, another reason why I love this build more than the others. Scroll Savant was the key, by the way. Always Scroll Savant. If you're going to be a wizard, there's no reason never to be a Scroll Savant, in my opinion. Because it's just that OP. So we basically got to trigger the dragon and demon fight. Tasty. Why is everybody fleeing? What's the problem? Mothman's here! Oh my god, help Jeebus!
Behold, Crusader gods, behold Iona Day, you poor imposter.
I know he says poor imposter, but every time I hear it, I hear whore imposter. It's like, dude, you can't believe you just called Ian Medea a whore. You son of a bitch. Alright, anyway. We'll get this mess over with. Go downstairs, and I'll show you the scroll usage and the potion usage as well. Again, I want to show you how that stuff works. Plus, I want to test it, see if it actually does what it says. The potion usage is more important for me as a swift action because if poop hits the fan, some of the potions you should have slotted up should be heal spells. So that you can be like, whoop, I'm healed, and still casting spells or GTFO and out of there. Yeah, get him, baby. Love you. Oh, shit. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Oh, damn it. That's a nice intro, though, right? This, if literally I hadn't seen this so many times right now, I'd actually be wetting myself. Let's see. Give me a weapon. Notice there's the weapon and there's a protective spell. The weapon would be the crossbow. The protective spell, I'm going to grab it just to show you what it does. It is nothing more than like a false life, I want to say. But I was partially correct, and when you fall, you get a spell cast on you of Feather Fall. It doesn't exist in this game, but again, it will show you as an icon on your character for like 6 seconds as you fall. It's what keeps you from falling to your death, basically. Oh, I got it. Oh, fine. Oh, I'm not fine. Oh, shit. Yep. Alright. Come on. Give it to me. I got more videos to make, damn it. Got so many videos I want to get done this weekend. Alright. Anywho. Here you are with your pet, of course. And, first, pause it. I wanted to show you the Feather Fall. See it right there? The affected creature or objects fall slowly and take no damage upon landing. Again, this spell doesn't exist in this game. So someone cast it on you, and it kept you from fucking smacking around dying. Someone said that they give you temp health. I don't see it. Now, maybe it's because I've already pre-buffed up and I'm level 20, and I'm just not seeing it because of that. But I thought it was Feather Fall because of that. That's why I made that statement a while back. But let's get you... I love how he just takes the fucking lead. Yeah, go up front, bro. I want to gift myself potions and scrolls. We don't have to give us everything, but I want you to have things. So let's say potion. We search by items of potion. We can give ourselves aid. How about we give ourselves blur? Where's bark skin? That's a classic. Give some bear's endurance up in his house. Some bull strength and cat's grace. What else might I use? Oh, cure spells. Yeah, let's get cure spells. Just so you have them. Apparently there's a potion of death ward. Yes, please. Delay poison. Sounds good. Potion of dispel magic. What the fuck? Displacement. Sure. Displacement 9 means it's probably a higher caster level. Let's get heal and heroism. And greater heroism for a reason. There's even a potion of good hope. Fuck yeah, man. And freedom of movement. Gotta get some of that. Mage Armor. Not that I can't cast it myself. Notice there's even magical vestment armor and magical vestment shields. A lot of shit that was missing. Magic Fang. Greater Magic Fang. This was amazing because this spell. That's what potions are. It's nothing but spells and bottles. These spells were amazing for monks, for those of you that don't know, because monks' natural strikes, their punches, are considered unarmed strikes, but they're also considered natural weapons, and therefore Magic Fang is the way to buff them. So if you cast Magic Fang or Greater Magic Fang on your monk, you can be a monk-tastic motherfucker. Just saying. It's not a magic weapon when it's your fist, just so we're clear. Vanish, just to show you that it's crap. Let's get a protection from... electricity and evil. And how about we grab resist fire and shield of faith and shield of faith 12. Spell resistance, stone skin. Oh, Jesus Christ, stone flesh potion. Wow, true seeing. Hell yeah, take that too. So why am I taking so many potions? Because remember, we're a scroll savant, not a potion savant. Potions are of course amazing if you were to do the triumvirate like I suggested, bro. If you're gonna do anything to make me happy, do this. Do this build. Make a mercenary that's going to be a grenadier, that's going to be a potion expert, and do a magus of some kind who is a one-handed weapon-wielding son of a bitch. Doesn't have to be rapier, doesn't have to be dex-based, because they wear armor, so go all battle knight on their ass, but leave your offhand free and become the highest stat caster you can be, which means if your intelligence is your casting stat, you do like I did with this build, where your intelligence finishes off at the 24. If you're going to be an Eldritch Scion, which is the only other one of those, I think, from the Magus subclasses that have a different casting stat, that's Charisma. Maximize Charisma, and make yourself one that has Wand Wielder and Wand Mastery. So you'll have 3 teammates. This main character who's amazing at scrolls, a potion expert, and a wand expert on your party, which means all those 3 magical items that you find routinely in this game and can purchase in mass quantities, you've just got someone on the party that's always going to be good at those things. Just saying. That's one of the rationales behind this. Let's grab some scrolls. Notice there's a lot of them. Like a fucking lot of them. But I'm going to draw your attention to just some. So let's just start grabbing stuff down the list. I'm looking for ones that are not our spells. Like Aid is a fine example. Aligned Weapon is a fine example. Wizard, Greater Angelic Aspect. We do have access to that as well as the Angelic Aspect, so I'll pass on those. And make that upper treatment. Archon's Aura. That might be okay. What else you got? Form of Sunshine. Bane. In fact, I'll grab a couple just because. Bark Skin. Again, every spell under the sun should be in here. It's not true, but it should be close to being true. And again, ones that we would want to have for ourselves, you know, you scribe them to your spell book. But I'm not going to waste your time by grabbing every spell under here. I've done that already just to test shit out. By the way, notice that I'm going to grab this one a couple times to point out the fact that it's a bad spell. It's great, but it's terrible for casters. Sounds counterintuitive. Bone Shaker and Bone Shatter are amazing, so I'll grab those. Breath of Life, another spell that you don't have access to, is awesome. Grab the Bone Shatter. Almost missed it. And by the way, notice that Bone Shatter Cleric and Bone Shatter Wizard is just different levels of the spell. Like the Wizard will get it like level 5, whereas the Cleric could get it sooner. If I get the Cleric spell, the scroll, I can scribe it to my spell book, and it will be the Bone Shatter Wizard version. Just know that. That's another reason for doing that one. I want to find other ones, though, that are buff spells. Like what? Cloak of Dreams. No. Come on, where are you at, you bastard? Oh, come on. Crusader's Edge might be one. I'll grab some of the cure spells, because again, you can cast those now. From the scrolls, of course. Death Ward. Deep Slumber. Delay Poison. Sure, why not? Come on, where you at? No. I'm going to grab those just to have them. And I want Disrupting Weapon. That might work. Divine, here we go. Divine Favor. Divine Power. What else? Eagle Soul is a good buff. Effortless Armor, but I don't think we need that one. But we'll do it. Echolocation, sure, why not? And I'm sure there's others that I'm missing. Come on, think, brother. Where is it at? You got other ones in here. I know you got some that you're missing. Let's grab some Foresight just to have them. Good Hope. There we go. Oops, Grace, not Grace. Good Hope. Thank you. I'll grab Grease just because I don't think I grabbed it for my spell book. Haste, Harm, Heal, amazing spells. Hellfire Erasure, Hero Invocation. That might be a buff. Heroism. Here we go. Heroism, Greater Heroism. Holy Aura. Grab a couple just in case. Holy Smite, Holy Weapon, Holy Word, all that shit. Holy Whisper. Horrid Wilting, Hungry Pit, blah, blah, blah. Icy Prison, there it is. Fucking finally. I don't know why I couldn't find that spell on my list. Should be one of our spells, anyway. Legendary Proportions is a buff. Lead Blades is a buff. And again, a lot of these spells are, Cleric, Druid, Bard even, Paladin, Ranger, all that jazz. But it serves a point. And let's grab weapon, blah, blah, blahs. Sure, Magic Missile, Great Magic Fang, Magic Vestments, Sivan, Shield, Mage Armor. Mage Shield, by the way, is this the shield spell. There you go, Long Strider. There you go, some long-term buffs. That's close enough. Alright, let's do this, and we're going to sort by name. So it's potions are on the top, scrolls on the bottom. I want to first save, so I don't fuck this up. And I want to show you some stuff. So first off, let's go through some potions. Just to give you an example. Here's a potion that I can cast, like anyone else. Anyone can use a potion. You just got to be able to drink it. You drink this potion for 3 minutes because it's caster level 3. It will give you whatever buff. And again, big deal, right? But again, that's aid. Now look for your potion or scroll of aid. Okay, see if I can find that shit. Where are you, little bastards? That one right here. So mark the difference is what I'm trying to show you here. Okay. So again, quick save, so I don't mess this up. Let's move my character over here. Here's of course where your potions and shit become. So here is aid. Notice it went swift, so it looked like it really did activate it as a swift action. So fuck yeah, that was awesome. And again, 3-minute buff, fine. Now watch what happens when I cast it as a scroll. First off, notice that I can cast it on a friendly creature, so I can just cast it on him. No point when I cast it on him. You're not friendly? Maybe it says human. So here's my version of it. 24-hour buff. Now why is it 24 hours? So no, look at the scroll. Caster level 3 is a lie. It should be just like the potion then, so 3 minutes. Why is it bigger? Because we are Scroll Savant. Our caster level is 30. Not Scroll Savant level, caster level is 30. That's to your benefit. So that's a 30 level spell for us. So 30 minutes. Well, 30 minutes is not what we got. We got 24 hours. And again, it's because all... wrong thing. Mythic Path. Here we go. All of our spells, whether it's our spells, cast from ourselves, from our wand, from our scrolls, from our potions, work with... Where the hell are you? Enduring spells and the greater enduring spells, which is missing here somewhere. But it's here somewhere. Those work. So again, if I can get it to an hour, it's now 24-hour buff. That's why Mage Armor, the minute I get this, I literally have a Mage Armor spell that, even as a potion, it's a caster level 1 potion. I literally get it for 24 hours. Whoop! Boom, done. Problem solved. Fucking 24-hour buff. Fucking love it. And they're cheap potions. Scrolls too, but it's not the point. You can get them in potions, just keep them in potions, you'll be fine. And it's more than enough once you have this. And then once we have, again, instead of improved abundant casting, you could have the Archmage ability I was telling you about, the Archmage Armor. That could be 14 goddamn armor for you for 24 goddamn hours. As a 50 gold piece item, that's the one few spells and potions that I would tell you fucking cast it the minute you wake up. Because fuck it, you got like treasure troves of those things, son. Same with wands. Find those wands, keep those wands. When you need that buff, hand it to her. Boop! As long as it's the enduring spell version or the greater enduring spell version, she'll get it for full fucking thing. Now the downside is the team of 3 I told you about. One's that's for potions, one's that's for wands, and one's this one here that's for scrolls. The Scroll Savant can get you this, the Scroll Mastery. That was the key, right? It's not just that you can cast any scroll, it's that you can cast any scroll and it now matches your caster level. The Potion Master, the one that's going to be an alchemist, whichever one you pick, that's on you, as long as you have access to enhanced potion and you go full-fledged alchemist. I mean level 20 fucking alchemist. Any potion that they cast will be caster level 20. That's fucking amazing. And again, it would key off of if they had enduring spells and greater enduring spells, which again, I highly recommend. Having said that, they can also get Extend Potion, which is another ability, which means all potions, not only do they act at your caster level with Enhanced Potion, they are now double the duration thanks to the Extend Potion ability that they have. So that's double useful. So instead of it being an hour buff, it's a 2-hour buff. Instead of it being a 1 round per caster level, it's a 2 round per caster level. And if you're a level 20 alchemist, that's a level 40 buff, technically speaking. It's a 40 round buff. That's 4 minutes of buff. Like a haste potion, for example. That's 4 minutes of just boom, I'm awesome. Now, yeah, that's never going to reach the level that your haste gets, where again, you get that 24-hour buff. But that's why they got you, buddy. Then the wand guy, and this is where the problem comes. The wand guy, the Magus that I told you to grab, they get 2 abilities, the Magus Arcana, called Wand Wielder and Wand Master. I think is what they call it. Wand Wielder, definitely. Wand Master, I think that's accurate too. You want both of those. Wand Wielder allows you to do nothing more than use a wand as if it were your own spell. What does that mean? Because you're a Magus, you have the ability to cast a spell if you have these toggles on called Spell Combat and Spell Strike. You can cast a spell and then swing with your weapon. With melee touch attacks or ranged touch attacks if you're an archer, you can cast a spell, and if it's a raised spell, you can shoot it through your bow. If it's a melee touch attack, you can swing it through your weapon, depending on the type of Magus that you are. And when the weapon hits, it discharges the spell. And if the weapon crits, the spell crits. That's fucking awesome. So that's why Wand Wielder. Wand Master is the one you really want, but again, that requires you have a high casting stat. So if it's a normal Magus, it's an intelligence buff. If it's an Eldritch Scion, it's a charisma. You want the highest charisma you can get or the highest intelligence you can get, whichever one you want. The reason for that is what Wand Master does. It doesn't do this. It doesn't give you the wand level equal to your scroll or your Magus level. That would be amazing, but you're not going to get that shit. What does it do instead? It actually does the equivalent of this. Increases the DC check based on your casting stat modifier. So a Wand of Fireball, again, is like a Scroll of Fireball, where it's a level 3 spell. So it would be a DC check of 10 base, plus 3, plus the minimum intelligence you would need to cast Fireball, which is 13. That's a +1 modifier. So 10 plus 3 plus 1. I know we had this conversation earlier in this video. I'm repeating it because it's important. So 10 plus 3 plus 1. So a Wand of Fireball or a Scroll of Fireball would cast with a DC check of 14. 10 plus 3 plus 1. With you having this, if I cast it from a scroll, we're using that number now. If I was Wand Wielder, Wand Mastery, from a Magus standpoint, and I was using a Wand of Fireball, again, instead of it being 10 plus 3 plus 1, it would be 10 plus 3 plus whatever my casting stat was. So again, if I have a high intelligence, the DC check's higher. That's why those are the masters of the wand, the potion, and the scroll. That's your triumvirate. That's the team that I'm probably going to make as a evil playthrough. I've yet to decide if it's going to be the Lich is going to be my main character here, the Scroll Savant Lich, or if I'm going to make that build I had previously uploaded with the Grenadier Lich, the Rumma Mummy, because he can totally do all the fucking potion shit and be amazing at it. And I can just make a mercenary. Oh hell, matter of fact, we have a Scroll Savant on our team, Ninio. She may not be optimized like my character, but I can fucking get her early enough that I can still get her to this. And while she can't get the Lich path, because again she won't be, she can still have some serious fun. So I can totally make a Scroll Savant with her, and that's good enough. The downside is, again, with all these choices, like again the Wand Master, the Potion Master, the Scroll Master, only one of them is going to get the Lich path, or whatever path we're talking about, the Angel path, whatever. So, yeah, that's a downside. So I might want to make this character as an evil playthrough and make Rumma Mummy like her bodyguard brother or something that was like jealous of her because he never was a wizard, so he became a fucking grenadier. But he's got enough, background to be his mummy, his mummification abilities and be a potion expert. So with her and him on the team, and then just like bring in another Magus like a Sword Sage or a Eldritch Scion for that fucking matter, and do like the undead bloodline for that would be awesome. And then I have 3 undead-ish characters fucking triumvirate running through as an evil playthrough. That would be fucking baller, and I'd have fun with that. So now, having said all that, we've already established that your potions can be buffed with a potion guy. But notice this. For her, if you're not doing the triumvirate, for her, let's give you, there's a way to remove all your buffs. I just want to do that real quick. So we want to go Cheap Tricks, remove buffs, instant rest to give us all our abilities back. And notice it shuts off your togs. So if you had like point blank shot on or whatever, it'll shut that shit off. Notice this is your deadly magic 3 times a day. Here's our invisibility field and our invisible thief. The exact same thing, man. They are the exact fucking same thing. Now the trick on that then is going to be literally just making sure you keep them side by side. You use one, then use the other. And all it is I go invisible the minute I freaking activate it. So it's just greater invis. Oh, I'm done with it. And shut it off. And again, like I said, it should shut off after combat. If you activate it in combat, it likes to shut off after, which is usually good because you don't need it then. You can return it back on and then run into a room, which is what I usually do. But again, don't waste it is my advice to you. But again, once you get infinite use of 24-hour use of greater invis, fuck it, you're fine. And by the way, you can get early on at least. I didn't talk about it, but I did have it. No, I didn't grab it like a dumbass. Let me get it for you. Sorry, I have to do it because it's important. Search and pick. I need a scroll of invisibility. Come on. Come on. Yeah, little bastard. E, F, G, H. I remember my alphabet. Invisibility. There we go. Okay. The reason for this is this. Let's sort it. And where's my invisibility? G heal H I Holy Aura. Holy Word. It's gotta be this guy right here. Okay. Scribe it to your book. And the reason I care about this is I wanted to show you this little trick as well. Oh, maybe what was this? Not level 3? Oh, it's level 2. Derp. Anyway. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do Meta Magic. And I want to do... Because, of course, as soon as you can extend it, you probably are going to want to extend it. Like level 2, and get yourself the better version of them. And again, this is one of those spells, not Greater Invis, but this is one of those spells where literally, if you cast it on yourself, or your buddy for that matter, you can get 24 hours way before we get to that level 25 spellcaster level for Greater Invis. Yes, it doesn't last as long. It's 24 hours. You say, sure it does. It's 24 hours. Yeah, but remember, this is the one that the moment you attack, poof, it's gone. But again, for 24-hour buff, fuck yeah, I'll cast it on myself and run into a room, check out an entire fucking dungeon, sneaky all over the fucking place and being like, I'm invisible, you can't catch me. I'm invisible, can't catch me. And that's why you do that. So again, I just wanted to point out that that is an option until you unlock the Greater Invis. Obviously, Greater Invis is better, and you'd rather have it for 24 hours than just invisibility. I just wanted to point that out, that there was other options. The other thing to point out, though, is stuff like this. Let's take an example of a spell you don't have access to, but you can get it in potion form, like Greater Heroism. See this little, one right here, Greater Heroism. See this little bastard right here? Caster level 11. You are not a potion master. You know, if you did a triumvirate like I suggested, you could have a guy, and he should be the one that pours that down your throat, because he'll make it be even better. But if you don't have that guy, and you have enduring spells and greater enduring spells, which you do, guess what? This works on this potion. So if you do this, you just drink the potion, and now, 24-hour buff. Why? Because it's at least 5 minutes. So your goal is potions and wands and scrolls, anything that you can somehow get to 5 minutes or better for duration, if it's a buff, obviously. That's your cup of tea. And again, they've added a metric shit ton of potions in this game that they didn't have before. Death Ward is a fine example. 1 minute per level. This is something that, again, we will use that. Boom. 7 minutes? Nope. 24 hours, baby. One goddamn day. And again, a spell you don't have access to. So again, an amazing spell. Freedom of Movement, that's up in here somewhere. Where is that bastard at? Right here. Info on that is 10 minutes per level. So it's already set for 70 goddamn minutes, which is awesome. But again, with nothing more than enduring spells, you could grab a shit ton of these bastards, keep them in your pack, use them when you need them, and now you have a 24-hour I'm immune to paralysis buff. Tell me that shit ain't appealing, bro. Then we talk about our potions. Let's talk about our actual spells, because potions cap out, I want to say, at level 6. They can't make any potions higher than that. There's a way around it. Again, it's a mythic path deal. But that's not in the game, as far as vendors don't have level 7, 8, or 9 potions. They have potions all the way up to level 6, like you just saw. I think Death Ward is one of those potions. But other spells that we have access to from scrolls, let's see if I can find you an example of one. Oh, here's Long Strider level 1, Long Strider level 3, no. Mage Armor, no. Heal, level 6. Eagle Soul, that might be one. Level 6 Eagle Soul. Spell that you don't have access to will not work well for you because, again, you're not good. So be real careful with shit like this. So always read your scrolls. But this one here is only 1 round per level. And you may say, well, you're setting it higher, right? Your caster level is 30. Well, here's the thing. We need it to be extended. Remember, it can't be 3 minutes. It has to be 5 or more. So if you extended it, great. We can't extend spells from scrolls. There's no way for you to use a Meta Magic Rod. I've tested it already. You can't have a Meta Magic Rod of extend on, cast it from a scroll, and have that be buffed. It will not work. So don't think you're going to do this for things like Divine Power or Eagle Soul or any of those other cleric awesome spells. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun. So remember, this one for everyone else will last for 11 rounds. Fuck that shit. How long does it last for me? 30. Because that's 3 minutes. So again, it still works with your scroll savant ability. There's still reason to grab those scrolls. You understand? So make sure to grab them. Load up on that shit. And you're going to, of course, grab every pack of bag of holding and smaller bag of holding and pouch of holding and fucking wallet of holding. Whatever the fuck you can find that holds shit and allows you to carry more. Because if you're going solo, or minimum team anyway, this is going to be your cup of tea. Will be you and your triumvirate of potion wielding son of a bitch, your wand wielding bastard, and the scroll savant that you are right now. You'll be carrying all the potions and scrolls and wands that you can and divvying them up among those 3 teammates and just go to town. You'll fucking crush shit. And again, you will have fun. I don't doubt that an evil playthrough, an evil triumvirate with, again, an evil scroll savant lich build like I have right now as the main, a grenadier level 20 that goes all mummification on himself and gets potion master, and then an undead eldritch scion bloodline, maybe even a double dip because you're allowed to do a secondary bloodline and go like arcane just to be a complete tool. Go purest build, 20 level eldritch scion. That's 20 level arcane bloodline and 20 level undead bloodline. You will be treated like an undead and just be an undead army of just ass whoop. It would be fucking amazing. If I could throw in a 4th person in there, I'd probably either make an inquisitor or a blood rager, quite frankly, with another undead bloodline, just be a dick. And you could be just a powerhouse, be like the frightful 4 of evil or whatever, and it'd be an amazing team of just ass whoop. You'd have so much fun, bro. It'd be ridiculous. And again, with you being the wand or the scroll master son of a bitch, once you get to level 10 and on up, look at your scrolls. Find the shit that either spells that you could buff. Again, another example. Here's another fine example of one that you want. Yes, I have it in my spell book. Remember, though, in my spell book, Foresight takes 2 slots. That's a fucking precious couple slots there, bro. I ain't got that many, and I don't really want to waste it. Yeah, it's worth it, because, again, fucking 24-hour, I'm never flat-footed, sure. But if you can scribe it to your book, yay. If you can buy a bunch of them, yes, they're pricey. But if you can afford it, again, cast it on yourself at the start of the big fight, and it works because of your scroll savant ability. And it's only 1 scroll, not 2 scrolls, just 1 scroll allows you to buff yourself for 24 goddamn hours. So again, there's reasons to want to keep scrolls, and again, that's when I talk about the opposition schools. There's some ways to get around it. The enchantment, remember we don't have enchantments as a favorite, we have enchantments as an opposition school, and we have divination as an opposition school. Find those wands, scrolls, and potions of all those spells that you would be screwed if you had to put it in your spell book, because it would literally take you 2 slots to cast it, whereas if it's a potion, a wand, or a scroll, it's just 1 done. Poof. And if it's a scroll, even better, because again, as a scroll savant level 10 on up, you're casting it at full fucking strength and then some, right? I think you like this build. Now, I know this video's been long, but there's a lot of mechanics to talk about, and I wanted you to see that. So the last thing to see would be, I suppose, just straight up magic attacking some fuckers.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Help them out. Sure.
Now.
Fine. Good deal. Great. Thanks. Awesome. Go away.
Well,
Stop
I'm
it.
Sela. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things
None
are
of your
looking
business.
grim
Fuck
enough.
off.
Good.
My name's
Well,
Nikola.
to
Go away. Stop talking to me. All right. I gotta get over here. Unlock some stuff. Fuck you.
What's in wait for me there? I wonder.
Yay.
Who's there?
The way you would play this character, just getting to wrap up, the way you play this character, not only are you a sneak thief, a stabbing bastard, undead motherfucker,
That's right.
you literally are, excuse me, in my opinion, you're literally the guy that pre-buffs up ahead of time at every opportunity. Whether it's the 24-hour buff, goodness, whether it's the 24-hour buff, or it's just the, like this one, like Divine Favor, which again is only going to last you 1 goddamn minute, because there's no other way to cast that spell other than to be a 1-minute buff. But you do it, and instead of it being a 1-minute buff where it's a +1 to your damage and a +1 to your swing, no, you're getting it at full goddamn strength where it's still at least a +3. So again, cheap scrolls for you to find, still only 1 minute, but unlike everyone else is only getting a +1 and a +1 and be like, why even bother? You bother, because a +3 and a +3, I'll fucking take that for a minute of a fight. And again, that works for your attacks like your ray spells. Like for instance, if I were to do something like, I don't need point blank shot on. I remember our blinding ray. Divine Favor added to the attack. 10, 3, 3, 4. Because my Greater Heroism I have on myself for 24 hours a day. This is only 1 minute. But for that 1 minute, I'm badass. Just saying. You're going to find an entire different use for scrolls that no one else is going to fucking see. Stuff that you're like, oh, well, I would never cast those spells. Well, then that would probably be a good school then for you to take as an opposition school and just keep them in scroll form. So if you ever do need them, like enchantments, like heroism, like greater heroism, like I have. Remember, if I slot that shit, 2 slots, that's precious. 1 scroll, I'll fucking drop $300 on something that's going to last 24 hours. Yeah, greater heroism is amazeballs. And again, enduring spells and greater enduring spells is your key. The last reminder before we leave is just, oh, we can't do that while we're, okay. The last reminder is you have to be Lich. Level 3 here, pick Lich, and you have to take Tainted Sneak Attack. You have to do that by the time you are at least level 8, or no higher than, level 8 Scroll Savant. Why? Because at level 9, that's your first chance then to take Accomplished Sneak Attacker. And then at level 10, it's okay to be Scroll Savant 10 because you wanted it. At level 11, that's when you start the Arcane Trickster path. Okay, so 10 levels of Scroll Savant, 10 levels of Arcane Trickster, Lich by level 8 Scroll Savant. So at level 9, you can pick the feat you need to round out what you need for unlocking the Arcane Trickster. With that, I hope that's everything you're hoping for, buddy. I know it wasn't the Eldritch Knight like you were hoping for. But like I said, once I got into it and realized that I'm only going to be caster level 29, I was like, well, I mean, it's still cool. I'll just say that. So if you wanted to see that build, I can happily do that for you. But it'll be put on the back burner as I get through these other ones. Just so that we wrap up with a positive from some other stuff. Some of the other builds I'm working on is someone asked for a Holy Fury build, a Celestial Blood Rager, Angel Mythic Path build. Rory, that's for you. I'm working on a Reform Fiend Blood Rager. That's for Kevin. Glad you. That one's definitely going to be a cleave monkey. It's going to be an amazing reach with like either a Bardiche or not a Falcata. Glaive, yeah, a fucking glaive. Big fucking sword on a stick. Who doesn't love that shit? And then the last one I was working on, I don't have it here. Where the hell did I do that one? It was a specific, I think it was called a Hagbound Witch. And that one inspired me just because of the name, because it's going to be a Hagbound Witch. I wanted to do a Baba Yaga. If everyone knows what a Baba Yaga is, I highly recommend you look it up on YouTube. There's some nice, it's a myth, obviously, but it's like the evil hag witch bitch, and it feels like a Baba Yaga. So instead of stealing her name, I just inverted it so it's an Abba Aga or Agaya or something like that is what I think I called her. So that's going to be my Hagbound Witch. And again, I'm working on all these builds and more. So again, if you want to see the Eldritch Knight version of this, it's a completely different feel. Know that. It's still going to be a 10-10-10 split. You'll be casting level 29. You'll still get those kick-ass spells, but what you will get, that'll be different, will be a better attack bonus. Because you get a better attack bonus because of the 10 levels of Eldritch Knight, the way I take that build is I make you a ray caster specialist. So you get point blank shot, point blank shot, precise shot, weapon focus in ray spells, weapon specialization in ray spells, which does not work, by the way, but you have to have the feat. And then when you unlock enough Eldritch Knight, you can actually take point blank and master for ray spells. And what does that mean? That means I could stand toe-to-toe melee with a motherfucker and cast a ray spell in his face, and he does not get an attack of opportunity on me. And there's some really good ray spells in this game. You got Battering Blast, you got Acid Arrow, Scorching Ray, Hellfire Ray, Disintegrate, or just to name a few. And there's more than just that. So again, pretty powerful, pretty fun. Again, a slightly different feel, and the fact that I was only caster level 29, I felt subpar, and I didn't want to share it unless you really want to see it. But with that, my name is Brother Mean. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think of this build, Nikola, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.